A very good afternoon wherever you are. This is day one of the national trials for the World Athletics Championships to be held in Budapest, Hungary. Remember, this is a two-day event happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Welcome aboard, and this is Athletics Kenya TV giving you live coverage of the national trials for the highly anticipated World Athletics Championships. And I'm thrilled to be your commentator, Greg Mulemi. I'm alongside Shadrach. How are you doing? Good to see you, man. Yes.
So much. I'm much appreciated to be here. Yes.
Yeah, of course, we are looking forward to plenty of action today, starting with the 10,000 meters. What are you looking forward to?
Basically, what I'm looking forward would be like just any other Kenyan fan or maybe pundit or rather say a journalist. We're looking forward to Kenya having a very, very strong team that will represent the country in Budapest,
Of course, we are talking about the 10,000 meters, a race that has not given Kenya so much hope heading into the global events. Talking about the World Championships this year and then the Olympics to be held next year. But here, these are the athletes that will be on course to ensuring that that dark is broken. Remember, the world champion just comes from across border, Uganda. Yes. The chapter guys. Yeah.
All in all, I mean, it gives a healthy kind of competition across East Africa. Because for quite a while, you can say East Africa, Kenya, and Ethiopia has been dominating in these races. But when you do have another country coming in, something that you can take for a pride also across the East Africa region.
And of course, on your screens are the participants for this 10,000 meters race. Remember, it's a final look. Watch out for the likes of Patrick Mosin in bib number 137, also trying out to see if you can get that qualification time. And of course, a slot in the national team to head to Budapest, Hungary on 19th of August. This is Athletics Kenya. And of course, we'll be looking forward to other events coming up later on in the day, including the double Olympic champion, the double world champion, Faith Kipyegon, will be taking part in the 5,000 meters. We're looking forward to watching the fastest man in Africa, Ferdinand Omanyala, trying out also to see if he can also, of course he's qualified for Budapest, but then there are other things that you have to consider. This is a national trial, and this is the 10,000 meters. Of course, we have to wait for the restart. Watch out for the likes of Richard Yator in bib number 120. There is Kibiwot Kandie, of course, Nicholas Kimeli, Kip Korir, Weldon Lagat, Jacob Kirop, Stanley Waithaka Mburu missing. Apparently, he's been injured, and it's quite an upset because he won silver in Oregon last year, but he's not able to make it here because of injury. We hope that he'll be fit in time to make it to Budapest. But then looking at this lineup, I'm sure you'll be looking at the likes of Edward Zakayo, former world junior champion, and like, I hope he does something special today. The first marathon of the year.
Some of the athletes
also in the lineup, Richard Etir, Emmanuel Korir, Kiplagat, Sebastian Kimaru Sawe, also another name to watch in this one. Emmanuel Moi Maru, of course, the likes of Daniel Takuma Kusen, Tumaka Kusen, Samuel Chebole Masai, and now we are off. This is the 10,000 meters men final, and straight on we'll be looking at these guys in the orange bib. Seems to be from the same team. It's like three teams being represented in this one, but ultimately we are looking for who will finish in the top positions.
Yes, we do have athletes from the Kenya Defense Forces. We do have individual athletes and some athletes.
Emmanuel Korir Kiblagat ana dakika 27 sekunde 32. Yuko pia huyu mwanariadha ambaye ni Daniel Simie Benya kwa dakika 28 sekunde 9.93, na yuko pia
Of course, all eyes will be on Kibiwot Kandie, who has a very, 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 very unique way of doing this. And of course, there is Daniel Simiu Ebenyo, the current national champion, won here 2 weeks ago in the 10,000 meters. He's the current national champion. He says that he wants to make sure that gold comes to Kenya. I don't know what its chances are, but let's wait and see.
I mean, he's quite a young lad, you know, right now at national service. Remember, in May, Cape Kano Classics, he won the 10-kilometer race, and since then, he went to South Africa and won the Geben Batch, and also the Pepe in Nigeria, and the Eastern Half Marathon. So he's quite a young lad who's doing well. My worry with athletes who do a lot of races, in one particular, maybe a stretch of 6 months, someone has done 4 races. There might be an issue of burnout. You know, basically, you know, we all have to accept that these are bodies and human bodies. So, and that's the reason why you see great athletes like Kipchoge, Eliud Kipchoge will do maybe a race or 2 in a year. So there's also that danger of getting athletes doing so many races in a year.
Of course, doing so many races makes fatigue creep in, and of course, tired legs out there. But they have a month to go. I think after this, maybe some of them will be taking some time out, prepare themselves for Budapest, of course. But looking at how they've been performing in the recent past, do you think it's now time to say that the likes of Cheptegei should be worried, because he's not really done well in the Diamond League?
Yeah, but when you talk about Diamond League, now you're talking at the best of the best in the world. And there's a great advantage to Kenya because you're one of the best. So when you compete locally here and you do well, there's a great chance that you're going to do well internationally. But at the same time, you have to know that internationally people are not sleeping. They are preparing for these races. So with these races, for me, sometimes it depends with how one gets up. The preparation, the weather, a lot of factors play along. Sometimes it can be a psychological impact too. So we just have to wait and see how he performs over the time.
Of course, we'll be waiting to see whatever happens. There's still nothing much to separate these athletes as they head into the 3rd lap of this 10,000 meters. 23 laps to go in this one, and you'll be looking forward to see who breaks the dark. Simiu has not really shown what he's made of, because you look at this pack of athletes, they seem to have the same quality, unlike, let's say, the regional and the weekend meets, where you find that after 3 laps the field is already separated. Here it's like everyone wants to take this one.
Basically neck to neck. I mean, we have 24 laps, so we're probably going like 2, so we have 22 more to go.
And that is, yeah.
They're not going to separate right now. You know, right now, I mean, for athletes who basically head-to-head or neck-to-neck, this is something that is very, very close to them. We can talk about maybe the 12th round, 15th lap, so we might want to see that division creating, you know, the first group, the second group, and maybe the 3rd group. But again, it all depends on their fitness levels. And also remember, the weather in Nairobi right now is a little bit chilly.
I just came in here, it was 17 degrees. It's unlike what we are used to, especially when we are having such events. But on your screens leading right now is a man called Bernard Kibet. He's based in Japan, and he's here leading the pack. Daniel Simiu currently in 3rd place, the national champion, and you can see it's starting to shape up as we head into the 5th lap.
They're probably just pushing themselves, you know, it's all about, in the meantime, just sizing your opponent, seeing how much they can take. You know, so you're not going to start with a high pace. Just start with a moderate pace, size each other up, you know, and it's all about endurance and stamina.
Of course, endurance and stamina will be the one to look forward to for these athletes as they try to size each other up. Still nothing much yet. Bernard Kibet still in the picture as they come towards that bend. This is the 10,000 meters, and it's the trials of the World Athletics Championships. Remember, a team will be selected here tomorrow at the close of business to represent the country at the World Championships. We didn't do very well in Oregon. Remember, a lot of drama in Oregon. The visa hitches that made the likes of Ferdinand Omanyala miss the podium. I'm sure if he went there early, could have maybe settled early and probably produced one of the best moments in Kenyan athletics history. That didn't happen, but right now, he's so much in it.
For a competitive athlete, it depends on where you're coming from, and some of these things are beyond your help. So it was a matter of bureaucracies in the government of the day. So you really cannot blame the athletes for giving in 100%. But sometimes as an athlete, when you're going for this competition, it depends on how prepared are you. You know, for Manyala, he got there. I think he had like 3 hours before he participated in the event. So I would say it was a good show. He just giving his best, but it was just for the issue of participation, you know, rather than say forfeiting the event.
I did, of course, and I was surprised. It took an hour rest, went there, and made it to the semi-final. That was quite remarkable. That is Bernard Kibet still leading, just ahead of Collins Mwangi. Daniel Simiyu Ebenyo sandwiched there, currently in second place, and you can feel that he wants to take the bulls on the horns, and it's all happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Wherever you are, welcome aboard. This is day 1 of the National Athletics Championships trials for Budapest. Remember, it will be happening on 19th to 23rd of August in Hungary, and today we are going to witness some of these athletes book their tickets to that prestigious world event. Nicholas Kimeli there in bib number 91, trying hard to stay afloat. I've not seen Zakayo yet, as I anticipated. Seems not to be in this field. But you can see Daniel Simiyu, Kibiwot Kandie, they're all in here. Also watch out for Amos Kirui Langat.
Just to mention some very good runners in this group. Very good runners.
Nicholas Kimeli making his first move.
From the armed forces, in the defense forces.
Of course, Kimeli is one of the athletes to watch out for in this 10,000 meters.
A world record 57:32 in the men's half marathon, that is 21 kilometers.
Born
Some very good athletes.
on September 29th, 1998. Is currently in the lead. That is Nicholas Kimeli. Just creeping in is Daniel Simiyu. The man born in Baragoi, walked 25 kilometers to school.
I mean, that's the good thing about developing sports in a region, in a country, rather than in a country. Because when you see athletes coming all the way from Baragoi, when you hear about Baragoi, you think about cattle rustling and all the challenges that there is. But you can imagine they have athletes that are doing that. For me, my wish one day is to have an athlete from Nairobi that will go and conquer the world. You know, athletes basically are known to come from good athletes, long distance athletes. You know, most of them come from the region, but if you can have athletes coming from the coastal province, central, eastern, I mean, I would say it would be such a great challenge. That's a challenge to athletics and Sunny Federation.
Of course, and right now in the weekend meets there is Team Nairobi, which has also adopted athletes from various parts of the country, and they're really doing well. And also, just to remind you, 2 weeks ago, the national championships were held here, and I was really impressed by the turnout by the universities. That was really, really impressive. It shows you that down there, it's not all about schooling anymore. They know that they can actually produce some great talents here. Remember the likes of Ferdinand Omanyala also rose from the ranks through the universities. So it's really, really interesting that the power is slowly shifting, coming to the urban areas, though the athletes themselves come from the other side.
But that's how it's supposed to be. It used to be that way. Because when you've gone to university before, remember there was a few extracurricular activity. That money used to go. You're supposed to participate in extracurricular activities. So I think to turn to one athlete, to go and make it big so that the rest of us could be left to play.
You're playing catch up.
That was
Dennis Oliech.
Dennis Oliech went to Qatar, and people are like, this guy's been offered 500 million Kenya shillings. Oh, there's money here. So that is the time that your teacher reminds you you're supposed to go and practice. But you've been paying all this money all along. So who's playing the fool here? So I think it's a high time that we should go back to basics and develop sports from schools.
And that is the youth Youth Development Chair Barnaba Korir, who's really been in the forefront to ensure that everything that is happening here is a success, and also making sure that these young athletes are well nurtured, and of course they run clean. That is the message that he's been passing all along throughout the week, ensuring that all the athletes that come here don't have, in Kiswahili, what we call madoadoa.
Yeah, I mean, doping has been such a scourge. As a journalist, I once did a feature story on radio that won a national award.
And of course, you have 2 awards for that matter.
Actually going seriously. When I interviewed so many athletes concerning doping, most of them have no clue what doping is. So when we talk about developing athletes from primary schools, we should have in our curriculum doping as a topic. So they are being taught doping as part of the school curriculum. So any person who wants to participate in active sports or competitive sports knows that you're not supposed to smoke cannabis sativa. If you're in the estate, you're not supposed to chew miraa.
And you know what happened to Ben Munyasia in Sydney 2000?
I interviewed Munyasi and Mudurwa, and I felt so sad for him because he's asking me, is chewing miraa a crime in Kenya?
He wasn't informed.
Chewing miraa is not a crime in Kenya. But you're supposed, yes, it's not a crime, but you're supposed to educate your because miraa is grown in Meru, it's a cash crop in Meru. So they are used to chewing miraa. So basically we should have a forum of education, because I remember Munyasia, when I interviewed Munyasia, he told me that, why did you select him to the national team, take him all the way abroad, just to wait for 3 days, fail a doping test and tell him he will not participate? It's actually painful for these athletes.
It's really, really painful, especially looking at how they prepare themselves for such events. And of course, as we continue the 10,000 meters men final, it is all about Nicholas Kimeli, Daniel Simiyu, and of course, one athlete, Beeb, has fallen off. We'll be looking forward to confirming who this athlete is, but Nicholas Kimeli there leading the way at the moment. Simiyu had fallen back a little bit, back in contention for this one, and it's going to be very, very interesting. So Nicholas Kimeli in the lead. It's halfway in the 10,000 meters. The pace slightly increasing, and you can clearly see the field being separated. Now we have like 3 groups of athletes, each trying to play catch up with Nicholas Kimeli, who is leading all the way. Remember, he's a former national champion in the 10,000 meters. Daniel Simiyu, the current national champion, won it here at the Nyayo National Stadium 2 weeks ago in a grueling battle. Will he ensure that he sees this through? If you're joining us, remember we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium. It's a 2-day event, and of course we'll be looking forward to see who makes the cut. All these athletes, I'm sure most of them will have that qualification standard time, but ultimately it will be upon 1, 2, 3 who makes it to the team.
And that's the beauty of athletics, because everyone sees. You can never say that I did not make it or someone stole my results, because you are seeing is either you become number 1, 2, or 3 and make it to the national team. So most of these athletes are going to burn out themselves. And right now you can see that that gap is already being created with the last 2 about 100 meters apart. And you can talk about, you know, separation of, like we normally say, this is a separation of boys to men. The men will make it to the national team. The boys will go back to the drawing board, look for themselves, train harder, come back stronger.
Train hard and come back stronger. That is Nicholas Kimeli there, still leading the way. Looks really, really strong. He looks determined to see this one through, but he'll face steep competition, of course, from the likes of Daniel Simiyu, of course. Bernard Bett has fallen a little bit behind. He's currently in 7th place, but then Nicholas Kimeli is leading this one. And look at this young man, really, really strong. And you can feel that he has what it takes to take this all the way to the tape. And this is 10,000 meters. Shadi, you've witnessed athletes maybe abroad and here, and we're talking about the World Championships, where we've not won gold for as long as I know. and it's a concern, to be honest. Do you feel that maybe our tactics have been failing us, or it's now upon the athletes? Because when we were going to Oregon, I interviewed Simiyu and he said that he was going to break the duck. That didn't happen. Kibiwott Kandie also had the same vision, but then Cheptegei was too strong. Surprisingly, Samuel Mburu, and a literally unknown athlete before then. Yes, we knew him from the Kip Keino Classic, and then he went on to make it to Team Kenya for the Oregon Games. He did not surprise. He came home with silver. We were expecting him rather to come here today and, let's say, show us what he's really capable of. But then we also have these athletes. We're talking about Nicholas Kimeli, Kibiwott Kandie, the athletes that we are looking forward to. Can they finally bring it home?
When you say that can they finally bring it home, that's an understatement. You know, Kenya has been known for athletics. Anywhere you go, Kenya. If you go abroad, if you travel abroad, if you ever had that opportunity to travel abroad, there are two things that Kenya is known for. That is athletics and you know, having a good scenery for wild animals. But we've dominated the scene for so long, since the 60s and 70s and 80s, coming to the 90s and now in 2000. But again, we keep on forgetting that other countries are not just sitting there and watching us do that. They're feeling jealous of us and they are trying to prepare themselves and come and conquer us. So everything falls back to how the government of the day will come up with infrastructure that will support these athletes. Right now, Kenya has a devolved government, so we can talk about the county government. How are they preparing future athletes by coming up with sporting infrastructures? And then we can talk about the federation. How is the federation promoting athletics in different regions? And to me, if you ask me, we can still continue to dominate and get the medals, but then we have to have a nice chemistry between the federation, the government, and schools, because you can only get these athletes from a younger age. There's a saying in Swahili that says that samaki mkunje angali mbichi. So when you're getting athletes from the primary school all over the country and have a strong national competition just for the schools, there you can be able to spot these athletes and say, wow, we have a talent in a primary school going to the secondary school, because later in the day we're going to watch a 100-meter sprint, and the first semi-final we'll be watching Omanyala's younger brother, Isaac Kundu. And this kid, I've been watching him since last year at the National School Games, where he finished third. So we can have so many athletes coming up from schools participating in these national trials. So I would say that Kenya, there's somewhere that we went to sleep. And at that particular moment, if you're not getting the gold medals in 10,000 meters, then we are a sleeping giant. We should wake up.
8 laps to go in the 10,000 meters final. Kibiwott Kandie now fourth in this leading pack, and of course Daniel Simiyu Ebenyo in the leading pack, and Nicholas Kimeli in second. Surprisingly, Bernard Kibet has not left the leading pack ever since the race started. This will be really interesting, but now it's starting to shape up. Simiyu, Kimeli, and Kibiwott Kandie, the three are a real threat to anyone who wants to run the 10,000 meters, be it here or abroad.
Yeah, when you look at Nicholas Kimeli, remember on 9th June 2019, he ran a 5,000 meters personal best in under 13 minutes. So coming against guys like Kibiwott Kandie of KDF, remember just recently he won the 44th edition in February of the World Cross Country Championship. So we really have a strong background here, and it will be neck to neck. This is where now we are seeing men being separated from boys.
Of course, Kandie has taken the running world by storm with his incredible performances and unmatched endurance. Known for his blistering speed and unwavering determination, he has consistently pushed the boundaries and what is possible in the long distance running. Remember, in the first Kip Keino Classic, he was really, he did something really special there at the Kasarani Stadium. His breakthrough came in the year 2020 when he shattered the half marathon world record in Valencia, Spain. And right now, he's in the lead in this one. Let's see if actually that is the Kandie we know.
Yeah, for long distance runners, it's a little bit different. You know, they're not like sprinters. For long distance runners, I think they're like wine. The older they get, the sweeter they become.
And of course, Kimeli not letting it go, taking back the lead from Kibiwott Kandie. now fallen into 4th place, but Simiyu is playing cat and mouse. He doesn't want to commit himself as he did in the national championship, whereby he led from start to finish. And now, this is really, really interesting. The 4 athletes, Kandie, Kibiwot, and of course we have Kimeli and Simiyu. Bet is also in the mix with 7 laps to go. This is now starting to look like a race that we wanted to watch.
This is where I was telling you that we, at about 7 laps, we should be seeing the separation. We should be seeing these strong parts. And when you get to 7 laps and you have what, 8 more to go, so we're talking about pushing and getting to the half mark. And this is where the endurance comes in, the stamina comes in. And it's really taking a toll on these athletes. As you can see, it's going to take a toll on them. And it's all about endurance and stamina at the end of the day.
Endurance, of course. And Athletics Kenya insisted on running clean. And Shadrach has just told you that everything that you do, if you're an athlete, really counts towards shaping your career. And of course, we've been talking about a few athletes who've found themselves in the wrong place at, let's say, the wrong time. That is Simiyu for the first time, peeping and watching over the shoulder to see where Kimeli is. Now this turning into be very, very interesting with 5 laps to go. That is Daniel Simiyu in the lead for the first time. Nicholas Kimeli coming in second, of course. Kibiwot Kandie in third. This is really, really interesting, and you can see both athletes, that is Kimeli and Simiyu, shaping out the field and ensuring that they are in the lead, taking matters into their own hands. And you can see Simiyu, just as we predicted, he's decided, let me take this head on.
Yeah, it's all about pushing to the wire and taking the lead. You know, look at those strides, amazing strides from Kibiwot Kandie. And most of the Japan-based athletes like Richard Yator, Bernard Kibet, Richard Ejid, and Emmanuel Korir, they are a little bit lagging behind with this. So, I mean, it will be a tough race for them. Also, we're looking at Nicholas Kimeli, who's registered as an individual athlete, you know. So it's going to be a tough between the individual athletes, Japan-based athletes, and athletes who basically coming from the forces like Kenya Prisons and KDF.
And of course, Nicholas Kimeli, a name synonymous with speed, endurance, and remarkable talent, established himself as a prominent figure in the world long-distance running, representing Kenya with honor and leaving a trail of impressive performances in his wake. That is Nicholas Kimeli, currently in second place. But we've talked so much about the national champion, Daniel Simiyu, the man from Samburu, the man who used to trek 24 kilometers to school. And of course, the sad story about it, he lost his parent through bandits, and it was really, really a hard time for him. But this is the man we are watching right now, Daniel Simiyu, taking matters into his own hand. Kibiwot Kandie has fallen further back into 4th, and of course, I don't think he's going to recover from this one.
There's still time. You know, I think they're going to the 8th lap or the 9th lap right now. So, yeah, I do agree you can create that distance. But again, it's all about your endurance and stamina at the end of the day. So there is an opportunity, maybe you can close the gap, not really playing catch up and catch him up, but say that you can close the gap and try and catch him up. But the earlier the better. The earlier the better. So for Daniel Simiyu Ebenyo, I mean, he started it earlier and things are looking good for him right now.
Things are looking good for him right now, but will Nicholas Kimeli rise to the occasion once again and demonstrate his unparalleled speed and tenacity? Let's wait and see as we head into the latter stages of these 10,000 meters. Look at these two athletes. It's been very, very competitive from the start. They've been exchanging the leads, and right now you can feel that they have what it takes to represent Kenya in the World Athletics Championships in in Budapest. A little bit of a hitch there for Kimeli. I think he tripped himself.
Pretty much, but that's expected, you know. Depend with the course, depend with the focus, and also the pace, you know. But we've seen athletes actually falling down, waking up, and still coming to win races. It's a little bit of a hitch, but it's okay. It's normal. In this kind of conditions, I mean, that's expected too.
With 600 meters to go in the 10,000 meters, and you can see it's all about Kimeli and Simiu who's going to carry the day. Of course, I believe all of them going to meet the qualification time for Budapest. But now it will be about the honors, the bragging rights, who wants it more. And you can look at this one. Everyone, Simiu and Kimeli, each one of them wants the space. Who's going to make it to the wire? With now 350 meters to go.
Yeah, pretty much it's all about pushing right now. And with a lot of fans cheering them up, especially when they come to the center stand. It's about pushing themselves. And with the bell now, we're going to see wonders. We're going to see athletes that are going down. And to me, if you ask me, the front three, they're taking it to the wire.
It's Nicholas Kimeli and Simiu. It's 1 and 2. But what Kandie has fallen way back into fifth. Will he catch up? I don't think so. It's 200 meters to go. This is the final of the 10,000 meters. Nicholas Kimeli coming back to ensure that everything is in his hands. Will he actually do what we've known him to do before? But then watch out for Daniel Simiu. He's trying really hard to ensure that he stays closer to Kimeli. But how will it happen? He has to beat him. It's 150 meters to go, heading to the home stretch. And of course, it is Kimeli or Simiu who will be taking this one home. But then look at Daniel Simiu, the national champion, coming from the outside. Is Kimeli ensuring that he takes this one home? We'll be looking at the time, of course. He's celebrating before he crosses the line. And that is it. Simiu and Kimeli, 1 and 2, 27.20. We'll be confirming the time in a bit. But Nicholas Kimeli claiming this one, and he'll be on the plane to Budapest.
Amazing, amazing. You remember back in 2020 Summer Olympics, he finished in 4th place. And during the 2022 Budapest Running Festival, Kimeli won the 10-kilometer race with a time of 26 minutes and 51 seconds. I mean, so when he broke the Romanian 10K all-comers records, nearly 2 minutes, and established himself as the 5th fastest 10K runner ever, it's not a surprise that he's won this.
It's not a surprise, Kibiwot Kamdia coming in 4th place, and that has been a very good race from all these athletes. Nothing much separating them. I think they finished within the 27 minutes, and it's really impressive. We'll be seeing whatever comes out of, let's say, the final results. We'll be giving you that in a bit, but brace yourself, because afterwards we have the likes of Faith Kipyegon. She's doing a double today. She's doing the 5,000 meters and the 1,500 meters. So, will she also show us what she's capable of doing? And of course, you were awarding her yesterday, Faith Kipyegon.
Yes, I mean, they say when it's your time, there's absolutely no way that anyone can take that. I would say the month of June, as being on the panel of selecting the Sports Personality Award of the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya, you can say Faith Kipyegon basically did it. And back to the screens there, when you see how Kimeli and Simiyu Benyo really pushed themselves with about what at the corner there. I mean, it's just amazing. See how these athletes are taking their strides. And for Kimeli winning, and with someone coming in second, with strides as long as he is, I mean, that's such a remarkable finish, if you ask me.
And if you look at Kimeli, was already looking over his shoulder to see where Simiyu was. My surprise for today is Japan-based Bernard Kibet, who came in 3rd. Of course, this is a young man who's already shown us that he's capable of doing great things on the athletic circuit. He's shown that. And of course, we've done the 10,000 meters, and now it's back to the sprints.
That's basically what people are waiting for, you know. It's going to be about 10 to 11 seconds. And, you know, a lot of people basically will be thrilled by these, you know. I once got an opportunity way back. It was about the year 2012. I was in a place known as St. Mary's in Jamaica, and they were doing their national trials for the sprints. It's an amazing feeling. I mean, as compared to Kenya, whereby we just have a handful of people coming for the national trials. In other countries, the national trials is such a big event, especially the sprints, because it's such a short, you know, about 10, 11 seconds, but, you know, it creates a lot of emotions, and the preparations and everything that is put in from the journalists, the athletes, and the coaches such an event, and especially for Kenya, it means a lot now that we do have an athlete like Omanyala, and people are just waiting to see that. Can we have another athlete that can come and break the jinx? Can we have another athlete that can at least get Kenya
Tactic gani
another
ndio
medal?
umeweza kuemploy
Because with
Saidu?
Omanyala,
Kulikuwa na
at
Simiyu
least
na
at the
Simiyu
Worlds,
wanaenda mbio sana.
Yes, kweli nashukuru Mungu. Nashukuru my coaches kwa ile training ambayo tumefanya. Kufikia kwa sasa at least I'm seeing I'm going to be back because niliweza kupata injury kule I think from January mpaka June. Iliweza kunisumbua sana. Ndipo maana mliona niliweza kwenda nyuma kwa races ambazo niliparticipate kama vile World Cross Country. So at least we have back to focus for this championship. Yes, because I know the race it will not going to be easy. We have to struggle, to train and rest so that we can get energy to fight with Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo, and the guys from Ethiopia. We know we are not easy, but we are promising you we're going to do something this time around. We know we still have time to train. We train together. I know when we train together, we know we will improve a lot. So kuhusu race ya leo, I think haijakuwa rahisi vile. Ngawacha nimeweza kucontrol kuanzia I think before at the half of the race, I've been controlling the pace and looking at each other, how is behaving. So I was increasing the speed just by step, so that will allow me to win the race.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Unaona finally hiyo medal itakuja nyumbani?
Yes, when we come together as 10,000 meters athletes, so I think the medal is possible this time round. Yes.
Uta double up pia kwa 5,000 meters?
Yes, I'll be doubling up because, as you know, I have a wild card for 5,000, so maybe I'll be doubling the race. Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much. Utaenda hapo. That was Nicholas Kimeli. Nicholas has been able to win today's race. He's saying that he had an injury that was nagging him, and now that he's back in shape, he's hoping that he will finally be able to deliver the elusive 10,000 meter final. We also joined by Daniel Simiyu. Simiyu has finished second, and he's also the Commonwealth Games champion. And we hope that he's coming to give us a brief interview right now.
First call for 100 meters. Men semi-final 1 to report at the goal.
And we move towards Shadrach's favorite. You know, footballers love sprinting. And of course, it's the 100 meters. We have two semi-finals for the men. And I can see the track is ready. But then we hand over to Charity, who will be talking to the national champion over the 10,000 meters,
10,000
Daniel
meters
Simiyu.
trial. Simiyu, tumeona raundi hujaweka pace vile unaanzanga na mbio sana. Perhaps ni nini umebadilisha kwa training yako?
Let me say, as we grow, things change. Yeah, so I knew this is a long journey. So, and having Kimeli, he told me, hey, be patient, I drive the pace. Because he has the World Cup, he told me, be patient. We are going to make it. So I just relaxed the way he told me, and I followed the instructions because he is a senior athlete. So we work together, and we have come successful.
This is your second World Championships. How do you feel about it?
I feel happy. At least I pray to God to give me strength. This time around, I don't know, it's only God. Yeah.
Perhaps you tell us something a bit about your watch. How is it helping you in controlling your pace during the race?
Okay, my watch, I check because of the laps that I'm going, the pace of the lap, and that's helped a lot. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Unaona hiyo medal imetukataa ya 10,000 for a long time now. Do you think that you're going to finally get it?
I think if we work hard, be together in a group, I think we are going to make something good. We cannot promise anything, but let God lead.
Thank you so much. That one was Daniel Simiyu. Daniel Simiyu won the Commonwealth Games. He's now looking forward to making it to his second time representing Team Kenya at the World Championships. He's also a new athlete and he's quite changed a lot with his tactic in racing. Simiyu, we thank you so much. All the best in Team Kenya. Okay, thank you so much. From here at the mixed zone, back to you, to Greg.
Thank you, Charity. Charity has been speaking to Daniel Simiyu, who emerged second in the 10,000 meters, and of course the winner of the race, Nicholas Kimeli, who of course will be representing the country in Budapest. Of course, we'll be looking at the list later on, and of course with the timings also. But then we are into the 100 meters, two semi-finals to look forward to. In semi-final number 1, expect the likes of Moses Wasike Onyango, Boniface Ontunga Mweresa. This is a man who has blistering pace rather. Samuel Chege Waweru, Hesbon Oduor of Kenya Prisons. I tell you, this boy can run. This boy can run. Yeah, it's only, you know what happens here? It's, will they catch up with Africa's fastest man?
When we talk about sprints right now in Kenya, we're talking about Ferdinand Omanyala. And but for me, if you ask me, it's a high time we did develop our athletes into good sprinters. And it all starts from the primary schools. When you have good primary school games, good secondary school games, whereby these coaches can go and actually spot their athletes. Let's go to universities. They will give you scholarships and come run for them. So when you have college games that are very, very good and strong, it makes it easier for a national team coach, or maybe for the forces, to hire you and have these individual athletes registering for such competitions through the meets and qualifying for the national trials. And then we can say, wow, we do have Ferdinand Omanyala, but we do have someone else who can push Omanyala. Because at the end of it all, as a country, we do need these medals. You know, we cannot be celebrating Omanyala, and Omanyala right now is what, 27 years old. So by the time he hits 30, without that gold medal for Kenya, it will be difficult for him to bring a gold medal for Kenya. You can only wish Omanyala was about 21, 22 years old. You know, when he was at that particular age, you can say, wow, he'll be keeping on trying for the next 4 years. Probably he'll get us a gold. But at 27 years, and he hasn't brought that gold, we should be asking ourselves question, what if he doesn't bring gold, and by the end of the time, he'll be retiring without that gold? Do we have any other person that can take over the mantle? And as you can see, we have Janos Musa Monchari. This guy is from Seychelles. The record best of 10 seconds, about 89. And Isaac Kundo Manu Omurwa, the young lad I was talking about, the younger brother to Omanyala. I watched him last year at the Kenya National School Games. He finished third. He has a personal best of 10.61. Boniface Ontunga Mweresa. And this is the guy that I'll be talking about, because remember, during the 2012 Olympics in the UK in London, though he did not qualify, but in 2017 IAAF World Relays, he won in Bahamas. So he's such a good athlete that you can look at. We also have Samuel Chege Waweru, we have Hesbon Oduor and Moses Wasike Onyango. I think the man to beat here will be Boniface Ontunga Mweresa.
Boniface Ontunga Mweresa, of course, will be running in lane number 4. Watch out for the second fastest man in the field, of course, Hesbon Oduor of Prisons. This man from Seychelles, I watched him here 2 weeks ago, and he looked really, really impressive in the 100 meters. He came to try out here. And what makes it the championships special is the ability to attract athletes from other countries to come and try out with the local lads, and this has really, really improved the quality of, let's say, the sprints, and of course the middle distances. We have the likes of Shida Lenyi from Uganda, who will also be watching later on, taking part in the 200 meters. We are talking about the likes of Benson Okot, some of these athletes who also come to Kenya to compete here. We had South Africans coming in the country to try out during the national championships, which is a bronze label championship recognized by the World Athletics, and that shows you that Kenya has made strides to ensure that they improve the quality of athletics in the country. But talk about that, we also have the Youth Commonwealth Games that trials that will be happening later on. But first of all, we have to ensure that we have a proper team for Budapest. We were discussing with some of the lads the other day about the possibilities of Kenya bringing gold, and they were telling me that, you know what, man, the women seem to be stronger than the men. I tend to disagree.
A lot of people think so, that the women's team, you know, with the money that has been created by the likes of Faith Kipyegon, I mean, it's amazing. But all in all, for Kenyans, in as much as we can compare the two teams, both the women's and the men's, we all have to say that all in all, we need a very, very strong team that will bring Kenya gold medals. And that at the end of the day, all the coaches that will be down here, they'll be looking for that. And if we do fail, it goes back to the federation goes back to the coaches, and at large, how are we developing these athletes for them to bring back the lost glory that Kenya much desires?
Kenya much desires success both in the men and the women competitors at the World Championships. Just to take you through the start list for the first semi-final of the 100 meters, Boniface Mweresa will be in lane number 4. Samuel Chege will be in lane number 5. Moses Wasike Onyango, born on 22nd August 1994, will be in lane number 3. Hesbon Odoro Chieng of Kenya Prisons, the fastest man in the first semi-final, will be in lane number 6. And of course, Isaac Omurwa, the younger brother, the national junior champion over the 100 meters, he'll be running in lane number 7. And just back to the 10,000 meters, it seems like Kimeli and Simiu had one mission: ensure that each one of them qualified for Budapest. They were communicating. It wasn't about the number 1 and the number 2. It was about how do we make this happen? How do we see this one through?
Sometimes you feel like in these races, if I'm a good friend of his and you know, we have that chemistry together, we can be communicating on how to finish these races. So, I mean, it's good for them to see that they have a good chemistry, they have a good relationship. So basically something that, you know, has been dropping off the field. So when it comes to on the field, we can be seeing how good they are working together, and we can only hope that in Budapest they'll work together and bring Kenya the much desired medals.
The much desired medals in the 10,000 meters, which has been elusive, by the way, for quite a while. And you can see the two athletes smiling all the way towards the finish line. And Kimeli was like, man, I've done this, relax, I'm celebrating just before I cross the tape. Simi was also like, I'm the national champion, I've done this. And each one of them knew that, hey, Hungary, here we come. We're boarding the plane and ensure that Kenya wins this one. And of course, coming in third place was Bernard Kibet, based in Japan. The young man born in 1999, coming in third, and Kibiwot Kandie, the former national champion over the 10,000 meters, coming in fourth. He started really well. Towards the halfway, let's say the second or the 12th or the 13th lap, Kibiwot Kandie was so much in contention. Then all of a sudden, he just fell back. I think it might be an issue with injury or something, because that was unlike this KDF man.
Pretty much you can say that, but sometimes there's a lot that you can talk about when you talk about these athletes, with their preparations, with their adaptation in different weathers. And sometimes I feel like it is good for athletes to come and experience that weather, acclimatize themselves, acclimatize with the terrain and everything, for about maybe 4 or 3 days for them to be able to compete properly. But sometimes these athletes, they just come from there. Most of them, they're training in Uasin Gishu Country, Eldoret and South Casco places. And you might realize that they just got here in the morning. They just got here in the morning, and it's about, what, a couple of hours rest, get a massage, and they're on the track.
They say an athlete is always ready no matter what, and we'll be waiting to see whatever happens in the rest of the races. Remember, at around 2:20 p.m., because right now we are talking about 1:45, Beatrice Chebet, Faith Kipyegon, Lilian Kasait, Rengeruk, Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi, Agnes Jebet, Grace Lobiach, Margaret Akidor, Sela Jepliting. These are some of the athletes that will be taking part in the 5,000 meters. Remember, the world record is home with Faith Kipyegon, who was named the SJAC LG Player of the Sportswoman of the Month, rather the Sports Personality of the Month, and she was awarded this yesterday in E10. She'll be competing in the 5,000 meters, and it's advantage to the home crowd. They'll want to see her. They've not seen her ever since she ran in the 5,000 meters at the Kip Keino Classic a couple of months ago. She's back at home with a world record of 14 minutes, 5.20 seconds. And also, it is a world lead. And she broke those two records, the 1,500 meter record. A week before, she broke the 5,000 meters record. Incredible.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the woman to see. When you talk about Faith Kipyegon, the world is looking at Faith Kipyegon, and trust me, a lot of athletes that are going to participate at the Budapest Games in Hungary, they are watching these live streams and listening to the commentary. They want to watch out from these great athletes. Faith Kipyegon, I mean, breaking 2 world records in a span of a week is not mean feat. I mean, that is something that other athletes will be jealous of. Other coaches will be jealous of her coach. That is something that's amazing, that has shocked the world.
Of course, she'll be one of the ladies to watch in Budapest, and also one of the athletes to watch in Budapest. We're talking about the 1,500 meters, which will also be happening later on. There's this man, Jacob Ingebrigtsen, who's just tearing the field apart. But we have the likes of former world champion Timothy Cheruiyot. Elijah Manango is also back. They want to wrestle that title from Ingebrigtsen. Do they stand a chance?
Pretty much, yes, they do have a chance, no matter how little they have. But to be honest with you, with Jacob Ingebrigtsen, I mean, this guy has been so much consistent. When you talk about Timothy Cheruiyot, it's been on and off. And Elijah Manangoy has been out for quite a while, remember, with this ban. So to muscle out someone like Jacob Ingebrigtsen, who's been consistent for the last, 4 years, it's gonna take some toll. It's gonna be something that really needs to be worked out, because you're talking about an athlete who's been consistent for the last 4 years. And he's been competitive. He's been performing. For Manangoy, yes, he's good, but he's been out for what, 2 years? For Cheruiyot, he's been on and off. So that is something that I can say, yes, they do have a chance, but very little chance.
Let's wait and see whatever happens when they take on the field in the 1,500 meters. As we await for the athletes to come out of the call room, I don't know. I wonder why it's taking quite a while. We're ready for the 100 meters first semi-final, and if at all we are to see Omurwa happen, it's going to happen right now. I would really love to see if the two Omurwa brothers make it to Budapest, the two of them. I don't know if it can happen, and maybe it's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe. But I think if it does happen, it will be something that will be so amazing, especially to their family. But it will also be something that maybe the journalists like me and you will be taking it to higher levels to see, wow, finally we do have brothers making it to finals in the sprints. It will be such an amazing thing. And I think if the younger man, Isaac Omurwa, will be making it, it will be advantageous to Kenya to have such a younger lad being able to make the national team for the World Championship. That means that for the coaches that are available, they do have someone to prepare for the future.
And of course, as we await for athletes to come out of the call room for the 100 meters semi-final number 1, there are also field events. And the other day I was talking to Julius Yego, an ardent Arsenal fan, of course, and he told me that he feels he's in better shape. He got new spikes for his trade, and he says that they help him propel towards throwing his longest throw in the javelin at the national championships. Do you feel that he has that spark to try something new this time around?
Pretty much it goes back to what I've been saying, that you see, when Julius Yego came so much hard on us, and the world was like, wow, we have this Kenyan guy, the YouTube sensational guy that has taught himself to throw javelin, and he's done so much well on the global stage. I think that was the time that Kenya would have realized that there is a niche here. They would have taken advantage of the gap and developed other athletes to take the mantle from Julius Yego. Now, when Julius Yego does not perform well, we don't have any other person that takes in that gap. That is the problem. And that is exactly what I'm trying to mention up, the same case that might happen with Ferdinand Omanyala. By now, we should be having maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more athletes that can wrestle Ferdinand Omanyala out of that mantle. So by the time Ferdinand Omanyala will be bowing out of the stage, we'll be having a 24-year-old, a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old that is ready to take the stage by storm. And then we can say, wow, this guy is 20. So he can probably give Kenya medals for the next 10 years. So by the time he's getting to 30 and he will be thinking of retirement, we'll be having that regenerational development age.
Talk about regeneration. Jamaica right now is struggling to find who can replace Bolt after his exploit since 2008 until 2017 when he lost that world title to the United States. You look at whatever is happening right now. Last year, I was covering the weekend meet, the second weekend meet of Athletics Kenya. It happened here at the Nyayo National Stadium. I happened to see a field. There were like 14 hits of the 100 meters. So you can imagine how many athletes those were. So I think the Omanyala mania has also made Kenyans realize that we can also do something in the short distances.
Yeah, we can do that. But my big question is, how are these athletes being prepared? Because you start at the hits, but when you have an amazing preparation that starts with having coaches in primary schools, having coaches in secondary schools, having coaches, elite coaches in colleges, I mean, the work will be so easy during the heats. When we do have these meets, we'll be having such an easy time knowing that, wow, I'm seeing at least, about 4 or 5 athletes that can qualify for the national trial. So for me, it's something that can start at really at a young age. And right now we're seeing these athletes getting ready. Remember, it's the first semi-final that we're talking about of the 100 meters. We have Janosh Musa Monchari. This guy is from Seychelles with a personal best of 10.89. The young lad that we're talking about, Isaac Kundu Omurwa, the younger brother to Ferdinand Omanyala Omurwa, has a personal best of 10.61. Bonfanson Tuga Moresa, an Olympian from Kenya Defense Forces, has a personal best of 10.37. Ask me, I'll tell you this is the man to beat. Samuel Chege Waweru of Kenya Defense Forces, also lining up, has a personal best of 10.55. Then we do have Esbon Odoro Chieng from Kenya Prisons with a personal best of 10.47. And lastly, Moses Wasike Onyango from Western with a personal best of 10.66.
And that is the lineup for the first semi-final of the 100 meters. On your screens, that is Isaac Omurwa Kundu, the younger brother to Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala. He looks well built.
The guy from Seychelles, right? When you talk about sprints, it's all about beating the air. So you need a lot of muscles. I had an opportunity one day to train with Ferdinand Omanyala because I love the gym. Once I retired from competitive sports, I love to do some CrossFit. And that guy can squat. That guy can do some CrossFit exercises. So when it comes to bench press, when it comes to squats and everything, you do have to build some muscle that can beat the air.
You have to beat the air, of course, and of course chase the time. That is the most important thing. Will we have someone who can do something special this afternoon here at the Nyayo National Stadium? We are talking about the 100 meter semi-final number 1. That is Omuro for you. And there's the man from Seychelles. Look at him, well built. He wants to beat the air, as Shadrach says, and of course qualify for the finals. It will be happening here tomorrow. He was here 2 weeks ago. He decided to stay back and also try out. It's also very nice to see the guys from the ISLs come to Nairobi on high altitude to try out, because they say that sprints do well on low altitude. That is where you find athletes breaking records and posting very impressive times. But we've seen Ferdinand do a 9.77 here in Nairobi at Kasarani, of course, during the second edition of the Kip Keino Classic.
Yeah, when you talk about sprints, you're talking about different weather conditions and how these athletes can adapt. But remember, when you go at the World Championships, things are different. All countries have different weather patterns, you know. Look at Hesbon Ochieng, the veteran right there. Samuel Chege Waweru there. I mean, look at how built these guys. That is the guy I was talking about, Albert Ontuga. I mean, it will be such a sensational guy. Isaac Kundu, such a young lad. I hope he does best. I hope he does well. Look at the guy from Seychelles, how built is it? Pure muscle, when you ask me.
Musa Kundu, that is Mweresa, Chege, Hesbon, and of course in lane number 8 is Moses Wasike. So that is the lineup for the 10,000 meters, and we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium.
Lane 7, empty, 6 athletes participating in this event.
Can feel the tension. Can see all these athletes, of course, they want that ticket to the final, and it all starts here, of course, with beating the wind. Who will make it to the for tomorrow's final? Can see the man from Seychelles. I think it's the man also to watch in this one. 10.88 coming into this one. Isaac Omurwa, Boniface Mweresa, Chege, Hesbon, the most experienced in this field, of course. And then there's Wasike, another youngster who's coming up really well.
Yes, Bono Cheng is such an experienced athlete. Look at him, well built. The guy, I mean, it's the guy. To me, if you ask me, this will be a mix of experience and the young lads who are trying to make it to the, to the podium finish.
So the start of the first semi-final of the 10,000, the 100 meters. Oh, what happened there? It's some false start. So who's taking an early shower here? So the officials are confirming to see if it's either the machine or an athlete who just went before the buzzer.
Remember back in the days, I can't remember the actual year, but when the legendary Usain Bolt got disqualified for this, I mean, it was, the world was stunned. The world was stunned. Sometimes when you get these athletes on such a big stage like this and such things do happen, it can be all about tension. Everyone wants to go to Budapest. Everyone wants to go to Budapest. Everyone wants to make the team. And sometimes it's all about how calm the athlete can be in this storm.
Calm, and it's the last warning for all these sprinters. They've been told no one is going to take an early shower. So here we are for the start of the first semi-final of the 100 meters. Watch out for Boniface. Watch out for Hesbon. Watch out for Chege in lane number 5. And of course, the man from Seychelles. And there. Oh! This time round, I wonder if it's going to be a green card or someone is going home.
Yeah. I mean, for these athletes, sometimes, they just can't soak in the pressure. And sometimes we used to hear that, better late than never. That's why one of the strategies that they used might be the 30-year-old, Hesbon Ocheng. Oh, my God. Hesbon Ocheng, the veteran. Hesbon Ocheng has to go for an early shower. This is someone 30 years old. Hesbon Ocheng, I think from KDF, has confirmed that he won't participate in this, and has to take an early shower. actually Kenya prisons. Hesbon Oduoro Cheng from Kenya prisons.
He's taking an early shower. There are no second chances nowadays. When you're given that red card, it means that you have to go and pave way for the other athletes to compete. So lane number 6 will be empty as we have 5 athletes in this one, the first semi-final of the 100 meters. And off he goes smoothly, and watch out for Bonfas Mueresa in lane number 3, and he comes in smoothly. And of course, Chege will come in second. It's 10.40 unofficial time. Bonfas Mueresa of KDF has done it.
Of course, it had to be Bonfas Mueresa. Like I said earlier on, he's the guy to beat Bonfas Mueresa. I mean, what a sprint that has been. We were looking at the younger brother of Ferdinand Omanyala, but unfortunately, he really didn't come up with something constructive out of this. But Bonfas Ontuga Mueresa, he's a specialist in 400 meters. Remember, was part of the 2012 Olympics in the UK team, but did not qualify for that. In 2017, IAAF World Relays champion in Bahamas. He's made it again here on this stage. So it will be Bonfas Ontuga Mueresa carrying the day for that semi-final one.
Mueresa winning in a time of 10.40. An official time, of course. A lot of factors that have to be put in place to give us the real time. And watch out as Mueresa just after the buzzer. Look at him, the way he takes off, looks down, then when he's over the 30 meters, he decides, let me, you said, doing what? Beat the wind.
Yeah, he beat the wind, and for sprints, it's all about muscle. It's all about how you start, and it's all about height. Because I'll give you an example with athletes like Kelly, like Marcel Jacobs,
I don't know about
former
tomorrow,
champion Usain Bolt.
but I think
strides do help them
still
as well,
pushing.
So he's a tall guy,
not an impressive
longer
time, but
strides,
I hope tomorrow
but
I'm
also
running
very,
fast.
very muscular.
As we head over to hear what he has to say ahead of the finals. Charity,
I
take
can
it
say
away.
the training has been good. We're trying to push on. So we're hoping to run faster times. Yeah. Oh, welcome.
Hi, how are you? My name is Charity Wanja. What's your name?
I'm Janosh Moshiri. Yeah, I'm from Seychelles.
Perhaps coming to run here today, what were you looking for?
Well, I'm coming here for training camp. It's been 2 weeks I've been here. Yeah, I'm coming to Kenya to improve my time so I can have a better time. Yeah.
Will this be your first time representing your team at the World Championships?
No, it's not the first time. But I hope I can go for another round. That will be good.
What's your prediction tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so whatever happen. All right.
All the best, thank you. That was Mueresa. Mueresa has been back after a long break. He was having his anti-doping violation ban. And then we also have, he said that he doesn't know much about tomorrow, but he's hoping to post good times. And then we have an athlete from Seychelles. He came here to improve his time and also to do his training in Kenya. He's hoping that he's going to make it for Team Seychelles in the forthcoming trials. Back to you at the commentators' booth.
Thank you, Charity. Charity has been taking us through the interviews. And of course, the man in focus in lane number 4, the fastest man in Africa, the fastest man in the land, the man with the world lead time, of course, and the man who has accumulated most points in the Diamond League, Ferdinand Omanyala, in semi-final number 2.
What a guy. He's ranked first in Africa and 5th globally. Someone who's ranked number 5 in the world, coming from Kenya, is something that every single Kenya will take to a pride. Look at him, very, very muscular, someone that can beat the wind. I mean, definitely for me, he's the man to beat. I mean, we can talk about other athletes who will be joining Ferdinand Omanyala in Budapest for the World Championship. For Ferdinand, if I was Ferdinand Omanyala, I mean, the biggest challenge is now to conquer the global stage. Remember, he's 27 years old. He's not a younger guy. And at 27 years of age, with no particular gold medal at the global stage is such a worry for Kenya. So we should be thinking of who else apart from Ferdinand Omanyala. He's the man to beat with 9.78 as his personal best.
Of course, that is his personal best this season. And of course, in lane number 2, Robinson Motende, the guy from Kenya Defence Forces, Wiseman Were, trying out for the first time in the 100 meters at this level. Remember, he's a hurdler. 2 weeks ago, he ran a time that qualified him, that made him qualify for the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. But that is Ferdinand Omanyala, of course, very confident, trying a little bit of some gimmicks here to see if he can actually beat the tension. Of course, he said that tension is a must for any athlete, and you look at that, that is Robinson Motende. And then in bib number 8, that is Robinson Motende. In lane number 3, of course, we are talking about Wiseman Were will be in lane number 7, beg your pardon, but then there is Daniel Kiviasi. Daniel Kiviasi is also a name to watch here, and then Stephen Onyango Odhiambo. So 6 athletes in this one, the second semi-final of the 100 meters.
ambaye ni mshiriki ama ni bingwa wa taifa wa mita 110 kuruka mionzi. Muda bora sekunde 10.70. Leni ya 6 ni Dan Kiviasi Asamba.
That is Dan Kiviasi, the man from Kenya Prison Service. And that is the man, Ferdinand Omanyala. Nice haircut.
That's the man to beat, Ferdinand Omanyala. I think the other guys that could probably go against him will be Wiseman Were Mohobe and Daniel Kiviasi Asamba, together with Robinson Motende. Look at their times, but they are nowhere to match this guy, Ferdinand Omanyala's time this season.
So Motende will be running in lane number 2. So the second semi-final of the 100 meters, Wiseman Were in lane number 7, and of course Ferdinand Omanyala in his favorite lane, that is lane number 5. So who's going to beat the wind? And also we'll be looking at the time. Remember, this is the second and last semi-final of this one before we head over to the 5,000 meters. So what promises here? The 100 meters. And there it goes smoothly, and of course Wiseman Were coming out from the outside really well, but then Ferdinand Omanyala really confident, but then look out at Were coming in second. 10.09 is the time posted by Ferdinand Omanyala. Of course, it's unofficial, but then Wiseman Were, the 400-meter hurdler, trying out in the 100 meters, and of course, we can see he's finished second.
Of course, the winner will always be Ferdinand Omanyala, you know, Africa's fastest man. But like I said, the person that can really come here in contention will be Wiseman Were Mohobe and Robinson Motende. They've really tried their best to try and push Ferdinand Omanyala. What a hit that has been.
Incredible scenes here at the Nyayo National Stadium. And of course, we can see these athletes, everyone wants, of course, to qualify for the World Athletics Championships. Ferdinand Omanyala, of course, is in that plane as we speak. But then Wiseman Were, the surprise of the day, coming in second in the 100 meters. Remember, he's a specialist in the 400 meters hurdle. But look again at how Omanyala comes. Robinson Motende came off the blocks fast, but then fell out after the 30-meter mark. And that's where Omanyala came in and decided, let me take this one on the bull on the horns, and isn't across the way. But what happened to Motende, he was leading.
Yeah, but again, it's how you start, and after 10 meters, how well can you match up with the rest? I think for Ferdinand Omanyala, if you see his previous races, how he used to start, he used to get off the blocks for such at a very very slow pace, and that's one of the reasons why he really did come out as stronger as now. I mean, for Motende, he started off well, but he can't pick up after 10 meters, you know. So that's something that's quite a worry. But I believe all these athletes, they'll go back to the drawing board and work it out with their coaches.
And of course, the 60-meter dashes in France really made Omanyala improve on his takeoff in the 100 meters. And he admitted that it was a very nice experience for him. And those are the official results. Ferdinand Omanyala, 10.08. Winning that one. Weissman Were Muhobe coming in second, 10.51. That's a huge gap. Of course, Stephen Onyango Odhiambo coming in third. Dan Kiviasi in fourth place. Stephen Otieno, 10.72, and Robinson Motende, 10.82. And now I hand you over to Charity, who's talking to the man himself, Ferdinand Omanyala.
That's Omanyala. Omanyala is saying that he's hoping to have a good run tomorrow, has his focus on the World Championship, and then he's going to be doing a Monaco League race in 2 weeks' time, also to gauge how far he is and to gauge his medal bracket hopes. From here, the mix zone will take you back to the commentary.
What's the next one?
Women.
Women. Oh, 5,000. 5,000.
Riggs, niambia makuta ni kiwi.
Unataka kucheza nayo? MGT. MGT kuna guest hapa hivi anataka kuwa interview. Sasa tunaenda nayo. Kuna guest hapa. Anatoka wapi?
India.
From India.
Guinness record.
Yeah, Guinness record. India.
72 hours.
Oh, Guinness record. 70. Only Guinness record.
On the other side, ladies and gentlemen, just about to start the javelin women.
Yeah.
Sudani is the Guinness Book record holder for 72 hours marathon non-stop run. Perhaps tell us how do you achieve how do you compete such a race?
One guy's records 50 hours, and in India there's 72 Republic Day. So I run 72 hours non-stop run without sleeping, without eating, just take liquid and energy drink, and they cover by 562 kilometer. Because of the one of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the India all the county cover by like 562 the county. So I run like 72 hours non-stop run. In the world, nobody can run 72 hours.
How did you prepare for it? And maybe you tell us about your support team.
Yeah, I prepare like almost 1 year, like sometime 20 hours, 30 hours, 56 hours, like that, and 6 hour full strongly diets, only liquids, and coach supportive, and the Guinness team record holder also they supporting. During the record, the CCTV cameras, timing ships, and everything. So the official record 2021 and 26 January Republic Day of India. And Omanyala also, we are good friend, and always he inspiring me, support me, and motivation me. So that's yeah.
Thank you so much, Sudani. Karibu, Kenya. Okay, thank you. That is Sudani. He holds the 72-hour marathon run for the Guinness World Record. He's saying that he took about 1 year to
For the
prepare for the race.
5,000 meters women final. Quite a rich field of athletes here. Beatrice Chebet, 14 minutes 34.55. The world record holder Faith Kipyegon, 14 minutes 5.20 seconds. Lilian Kasait, Margaret Chelimo, Agnes Jebet, Grace Lobiach, Margaret Akidor, Sela Jepleting. They are the athletes to compete in this one.
I mean, look at the times also. When you talk about Beatrice Chebet from National Police Service, Faith Kipyegon, look at her. Double world breaker in just a week. The SJAC Sports Personality Month of June award winner. Amazing. This will be a cracker. We're also looking for other athletes. Like I said, Beatrice Chebet is right there with a personal belt of 14, 34, 55. But of course it will be Faith Kipyegon. Lilian Kasait is also here. This is all stars. I mean, and no wonder someone is arguing that the women's team that will represent Kenya in Budapest will be stronger than the men's team. With all these athletes that are lining up here, this is such an amazing lineup.
Yes, he's put it, and there we go, the start of these 5,000 meters. Faith Kipyegon out there for the first time ever since breaking that record in Paris. Of course, watch out for Beatrice Chepkoech in this one also. Margaret Akidor in bib number 110. Bib number 115 is Naomi Chepngeno. Sela Jepleting also in the lineup. So this promises to be a very, very competitive field. 9 athletes in this one. Of course, we expect fireworks. Beatrice Chepkoech also in this one. Faith Kipyegon leading the way. She likes taking the lead and, of course, control the races. I believe that's what she's going to do here. Watch out also for Lilian Kasait, the athlete from Kenya Prison Service. She's one of the athletes also to watch here. But then Faith Kipyegon, who has the world lead and the world record, of course, broke the record that had lasted for close to a decade. Of course, we are talking about the record set in 2015. She came in and broke that record, posting a time of 14 minutes 5 seconds. And of course, she's here to try out to see if she can earn that ticket to Budapest. There she is in the lead alongside Caroline Nyaga. Not really Caroline Nyaga, but that's Faith Kipyegon. And Naomi Chepngeno taking the early lead. Shadrach, this one quite slow, but then you realize that it's very, very tactical.
Of course, you cannot start like a sprint. When you have Lilian Kasait, Faith Kipyegon, and Beatrice Chebet available, it has to be tactical, just like you've said. And the woman to beat here will be Faith Kipyegon. Categorized as an individual, he has a personal belt of 14 minutes, 5 seconds, and 20 milliseconds. So that is the woman to beat. I think the other runners, Beatrice Chebet from National Police Service, Lilian Kasait from Kenya Prisons, also not forgetting Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi from Zurich, Switzerland, with a personal best of 14.2367, will be in contention for that.
Kipyegon seems to be issuing a few instructions to her competitors. Remember, when we see this happening, it means that there must be some pushing and shoving in the initial stages before it finally shapes up. And Faith Kipyegon seems to be communicating to some of these athletes, telling them that let's do this, because it seems to be a very, very close one. And you can see as they come to complete the second lap of this one.
We don't get to see her so many times running in Kenya, and here she is, twice world record holder now. In a space of 1 week, she broke the 5,000 and 1,500 meters world record. She ran the 1,500 meters in 3
Lilian Kasait, of course, with the time of 14 minutes 23.05 seconds coming into this one, but still in the lead is Faith Kipyegon alongside Lilian Kasait, of course.
Lilian Kasait Lengeru in first position.
We are looking for who will make the first move.
I mean, they're just kind of taking it slow at the moment, sizing each other up, getting the tactics done, you know, before it heats up for the final pace, you know. And this is where, by the second lap, you'll be realizing. And again, just like the 10,000 meters that we did, where boys were separated from men, I don't know how we can say it here, but the girls will be separated from the women.
It's a funny one. The girls being separated from the women. Lilian Kasait in the lead into the fifth lap of this one. Faith Kipyegon, of course, in second place. And of course, Naomi Chepngeno still hanging in there. All these 9 athletes sizing themselves up for this one. That is Lilian Kasait in the lead at the moment. On your right is the world record holder who's aiming for a double in Budapest, Faith Kipyegon. She looks to be really, really strong. But then watch out for Naomi Chepngeno in third place at the moment. Her long strides. But then do they have the endurance that will take them all the way? That's what matters in the 5,000 meters.
Pretty much you can say so, but look how they're taking each other. For the first two, you can say it's a neck-to-neck. Look at Faith Kipyegon and look at Kasait too. Kasait has some strides too. You know, with these kind of races, at least you can talk about strides. That will help you with a good final kick, with a good final push. That strength will help you when you have strides.
I watched Faith Kipyegon in Paris. Her final kick is just out of this world. She has a really, really, really good kick when it comes to the latter stages. And I hope that she can replicate that here as she continues to size up with Lilian Kasait, who's currently leading, with Naomi in third place. It's still very, very close. I told you, when you come to such a level, you can see, it's clearly not easy to notice the difference. You can see all these athletes still toe-to-toe, head-to-head, close to each other. Very, very tactical.
Yeah, it has to be tactical. Like you say, when you talk about tactical and a final kick, you've just mentioned how Faith Kipyegon has an amazing final kick. It reminds me in the 800 meters, when you talk about Mary Moraa, see how she gets that final energy, pushes in. Way back, you remember how David Rudisha used to do it. But then when she goes at the global stage, in the 800 meters, there's a lady from the United States of America known as Athing Mu. I mean, that will be something else what are the global stage. Back to these races, when you talk about 5,000 meters, I mean, for Faith Kipyegon, it will be all about her. She's the woman to beat. But now, what about the global stage? That's what we're waiting as Kenyans.
All eyes on Faith Kipyegon, who's currently in the lead ahead of Lilian Kasait. That is number 1 and 2. Margaret Chelimo in third place at the moment. And this is going to be very, very interesting. It's really, really tough. Nobody wants to stay behind. 9 athletes, each one of them still in that leading pack. Nobody has taken a move. Remember, the world lead, of course, is 14 minutes 5.20 seconds, posted by the one and only Faith Kipyegon, who's currently in the lead.
Yeah, as expected, she's now in the lead. Kasait is a little bit dropping behind with about 2 meters apart. Look at that gap. But again, it depends with her stamina and endurance, because Faith Kipyegon looks comfortable in this. She doesn't look fatigued in any way. I mean, this might be an easy race for her, if you ask me.
That's all, of course, what you get when you're a world record holder, when you're a double world champion, a double Olympic champion. The level of confidence, of course, is always a notch higher than the rest.
And it's not all about confidence too. It's how well your body is prepared for that. I mean, it's very, very intense and for these women. And look at the weather, look at the psychological impact, look at how physical it's taking their toll. If your body is prepared well for this, you're going to take it. And I think for Faith Kipyegon, she's all going for this.
All going for this. And also coming in the picture is Margaret Akidor in the orange bib. She's also trying out to see if she can keep up with the likes of Kasait and Kipyegon, of course, as we head into this one. And you can see Kasait, she knows that if you give Kipyegon a chance to stretch that lead, then it might be very, very, very difficult to catch up with her. And that is Margaret Chelimo in third place at the moment. Slowly by slowly, it's becoming to stretch. The field is stretching little by bit by bit. And you can see some of these athletes starting to drop shoulders. It's catching up with them.
This is where the girls are being separated from the women, rather in comparison to boys being separated to men. I mean, the gap is completely clear right now. You talked about Margaret Akidor in the yellow bib, 21 years of age, Japan-based. Look at some of her accolades. You can just remember the 31st Nippon Sports Science University long distance competition, and a woman from Japan coming to compete and trying to battle it out with the best in Kenya. I mean, it's such a tough competition for her.
Sintina Chepngeno also trying to keep up with the pace. It's really, really getting hot in here. Not hot because it's a hot weather. No, inside the field, of course, it's getting hot because these athletes have now started to become more and more competitive, trying out to size up each other and, of course, chase the world record holder, Faith Kipyegon, who looks really, really comfortable in first place. Lilian Kasait, they're trying hard to ensure that she stays with Kipyegon. I see they're really communicating. I think it's all about making sure that they see this done, they see this through very, very good tactics that have seen them dominate the world scene over the years.
This kind of races is all about tactics, and I mean, it depends with how well prepared with your coach, and sometimes it's a kind of say neck-to-neck kind of competition, but all along it depends with how good tactically you're prepared to come and finish it at the end of the day.
Kipyegon taking the outside lane at the moment. I think she's realized that staying on the inside is she'll be predictable. She's taken the outside lane, communicating with Kasait and of course Margaret to ensure that none of them make trips the other. It all happens here. We've seen athletes being tripped on the track. I remember one time when Brimin Kipruto was tripped, and that by the eventual winner, Ezekiel Kemboi, in the steeplechase, and it denied Kenya a medal. And it's all about knowing what to do at what time. So it was a very unfortunate scene. But this one is one of its kind. It's already down to 3. The rest of the field has been separated, getting interesting by every second.
The pack has already been separated, and I think by now we should be knowing who will be the winners or the podium finishers. When you talk about Lilian Kasait Renguret, who's born on 3rd May 1997, such a distance runner, can be remembered in 2017 World Cross Country Championship, and is a former 3,000 meters World Under-18 champion and World Under-20 Championship silver medalist. I think they do have such an amazing chemistry with Faith Kipyegon because the two seem to be communicating, and definitely for me, I see the podium finishers being among the two.
The oldest member in this park, Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi, born on 2nd of September 1993. She's in 3rd, of course, behind Kasait and Faith Kipyegon, and it seems to be almost decided with 3 laps to go. This will be very, very interesting. Let's wait and see if Faith can actually decide to do this on her own, or she'll decide to take it easy and, of course, wait for the others. Ultimately, we'll be looking forward to see who tries to match Faith.
She's the woman to beat. I mean, trust me, globally, people are watching this event, trying to see how she's performing. Her competitors in Budapest are watching this event because she's the woman to beat.
Lilian Kasait in 2nd place, of course, trying to ensure that she stays on toes with the world record holder over the 5,000 meters, Faith Kipyegon. So Margaret Chelimo falling further back, but still in comfortable 3rd place. This is going to be very, very interesting heading into the last 650 meters of this one. It's been a very, very exciting 5,000 meters, Shadrach.
Look at Faith Kipyegon and Kasai, the way they are going head to head. But look how comfortable they are even at the final stretch. It's just amazing how strong they are. This is just amazing for them.
The huge gap now opening as they head to the bell. It's not going to be a very, very fast time, but it's going to be spectacular. And of course, Faith Kipyegon showing the rest of the world that she is actually the queen of the middle distances. Right now, she's showing that she has what it takes to take the 5,000 meters. Shadrach, this is going to be very, very interesting, the last 200 meters.
I mean, the question is not about Faith Kipyegon winning it, because definitely she's going to win it. The world knows she's going to win it. But we should be asking ourselves as Kenyans, who else is taking the second and third position that can match up Faith Kipyegon's speed? That will help us in Budapest, Hungary as a nation.
Cutting the curve towards the home stretch is Faith Kipyegon. You can see how strong she is. She's not going to break the world record today, but she's going to post a very, very impressive time here at home. It's not going to be very fast, but Faith Kipyegon coming home to win the 5,000 meters. She'll be in the plane to Budapest. Lilian Kasai trying to come, but she's not going to get close to Kipyegon. Kipyegon finishes fast, 14:53.90. Kasai in second, and of course, Margaret Chelimo, the oldest member in this team, coming in third. So that is what's going to be in the 5,000 meters. Kasai coming in second, just behind Kipyegon, and Faith Margaret Chelimo in third in this 5,000 meters.
What an amazing race. Again, like I said, it should be not worrying Kenyans that Faith Kipyegon has already taken it. It should be worrying Kenyans that the second and third place, how close are they to Faith Kipyegon? Because that's all they need at the world records.
Faith Kipyegon, of course, confirming that she's going to represent the country in the 5,000 meters in Budapest, winning the national trials here at the Nyayo National Stadium. If you're joining us, remember this is day one of the trials for the World Athletics Championships happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. We began at around 1 p.m. and of course we've now witnessed the fourth race of the day after the 10,000 meters, the two 100-meter semi-final for men, and of course the 5,000 meters, which has been won by Faith Kipyegon.
Yameweza kufanyika na kufurahisha wapenzi wa riadha, ingawa baridi naye imewasonga kabisa, lakini hali ndio hivyo. Muda huo ni wakati kabisa ambao umeweza kuandikishwa hapa nyumbani, dakika 14 sekunde 55.
As you wait for Charity to speak to Faith Kipyegon, winner of the 5,000 meters. Of course, she's one of the athletes to watch in Budapest. We are waiting for Beatrice Chebet to run in this one, but I understand she won the Diamond League trophy, and that gives her a wild card to participate in the 5,000 meters in Budapest. So she wasn't present here today, but all along, this will be a very, very rich 5,000 meters lineup.
Thank you.
And I'll be handing over
Thank
to
you.
Charity to speak to the lady of the moment, Faith Kipyegon.
Nimefurahi sana, nimeweza kuwin national trials. Sikuwa natarajia naweza win, but nimeprepare vizuri. Nilikuwa najua kila kitu ni possible. Venye nilienda Paris, nikakimbia 5,000, nikakimbia world record, na haikuwa expectation yangu, but leo nimefurahi, nimeweza kuwin. Na kwenda forward naweza enda ni double Budapest. Sija decide yet, but of course, venye nimekimbia leo, ninaenda kudapo. Yes. Siwezi sema anything about podium, but my focus is 1,500 to defend my title, of course. 5,000 additional race for me. naenda kukimbia nione what is possible kama Paris. Yes. Ah, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Congratulations. Hey, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Asante sana. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. This one. Yeah. Goes with this. Oh my God. Money.
For you, my dear.
Oh my God.
Yes,
this is beautiful.
It's
done by a lady. It's done by a lady.
Oh
a lady
my
called
God.
Maggie Etienne.
And she wants you to sign
Oh, yes.
We wanted you to sign this,
Yeah.
which we are keeping in our society.
Oh my God. Can we do it after maybe?
tuinue portrait.
Analeta chuma hiyo.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Can you sign, my dear?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I will sign it for you, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Help her, we need her somewhere.
Ah, nishike hii.
Good.
Oh. Wow.
No, kuna main.
Ah, ni admire. Unaona ni beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Aya, guys.
Sign once.
Oh.
Sign.
We are waiting for the media, please.
Sign.
Acha nikushikie.
Oh, nishikie.
Wewe ni kushoto? Wololo.
Umepata sasa. Haya, sign pale kwa namba.
Oh.
Kuna maua pia nyuma yako.
Hey.
Kuja hapo.
This is yours.
Ah, thank you.
Ngoja tukusaidie.
Thank you. Yeah, asante sana. Thank you. Yeah.
Ziko wapi?
Ziko kwa bag.
No, interview inakuja.
She needs to put something wrong.
Basi wapi DJ unaweza kuendelea DJ.
I mean, look at how Faith Kipyegon is just doing it. What a record breaker. Kasait on her shoulders, but I think it's just all about communication. It's all about that chemistry, getting it down together. As Kenyans, we can only hope that this will be done also at Budapest in Hungary for the World Championships. What an amazing race. On the commentary booth, my name is Shadrack Kandenga Odinga. I'm with Gregory Mulemi. And you can be streamed, we are streaming this live on the Athletics Kenya Facebook page. And
attitude iko juu kiasi, and maybe that's the reason why I didn't make to learn my personal best today. Yeah, but nitaendelea kutrain, ni focus on the coming events until I get to whatever I want. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gateri. All the best in the forthcoming race. We first started our interview with Faith Chepngetich, the 5,000 and 1,500 meters record holder. She said that after running today at a high altitude area, she is going to double up in the 5,000 and 1,500 meters race at Budapest, and she's hoping for a good medal finish. She also received some gifts from fans and also signed a portrait.
This
and
shows
then we
how
also have
resilient she can
Gateri.
be. And she just has bounced back from that and made it to the national team. Was an amazing race it has been.
Coming back from such a scenario to book a place to represent your country in any global event is an amazing feat, and it just shows you the resilience and the determination in this athlete. But that's Faith Kipyegon crossing the finishing line in 14 minutes 53 seconds, just ahead of Kasait, and you could see how jubilant they were after crossing that, and that tells you that the harmony that is there. Maybe that's why many are predicting more medals from the women than men in Budapest. But all in all, it's Faith Kipyegon who's just shown the way, and she's shown us that she's capable of doing a double in Budapest. Faith Kipyegon, of course, emerging victorious in the 5,000 women final in 14 minutes 53.90 seconds, ahead of Lilian Kasait Rengerut, 14 minutes 56.50. Margaret Chelimo, 15 minutes 7.49 seconds. Cynthia Chepngeno, 15 minutes 17.56 seconds. She came in fourth with Naomi Chepngeno, who led at one point, 15:17.65. Joy Cheptoek of Uganda, 15:24.88 is the time she posted to finish sixth, ahead of Caroline Nyaga, who disappointingly finished seventh in 15 minutes 33.75, and Margaret Akidor, who led at some points also, finishing in 8th place in 15 minutes 38.83 seconds. So those are the results of the 5,000 meters women final. Let's look into the qualification standard time for the ladies is 14 minutes 57 seconds for the World Championship. So quite a challenge here for some of these athletes, and we'll wait to see whatever happens. But interestingly, Beatrice Chebet was supposed to take part in the 5,000 meters women. She won the Diamond League trophy and got a wild card to represent the country in Budapest. So at least we have yet another pedigree athlete in Budapest in this one.
Yeah, it kind of raises eyebrows, you know. I mean, having such a big name, but at the end of the day, it's how you perform against the elite of the world. So having Beatrice Chebet, having Faith Kipyegon, having Lilian Kasait is a boost for Kenyans, because we have these big names that have performed before on global stage. But again, it will depend on how the opponents at the global stage would have been preparing themselves. And it goes down to the wire if Kenya will provide a medal for us in that particular category.
Of course, we'll be waiting to see whatever happens there. Remember, we also have field events taking place. The javelin, of course, the women final. We have Irene Jepkemboy, Gladys Jepkemboy, Martha Musai, and Salome Mora in that one. So the javelin is also taking place in the field. We'll be giving you results of that one as we await for the start of the 400 meters semi-final. If you're joining us, remember we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium on day one of the trials for the World Athletics Championships to be held between the 19th and 23rd of August in Budapest, Hungary. So this is Nairobi, day one. I'm with Shadrach Kandenga, giving you every bit of action here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Remember, we also have the 800 meters men semi-final to come, the 200 women and men final to wrap up the day. So this is day one, and you can see the crowd also cheered up to some music from the PA. But then in the field is the javelin happening as the Jepken boys, Matanzale Musai and Salome Mora, each trying to make sure that they at least attain qualification time to represent the country in Budapest. As we await for the 400 meters, the semi-final, we have two in this one, Shadrach. Laban Kipkorir, Kelvin Sawe, Zablon Ekwam, watch out for this young man, William Ryan, and Emmanuel Mutua. That's the lineup for the first semi-final of the 400 meters. We have the second semi-final, where we have Kunwar Liem of South Sudan, Jared Nyabweke Momanyi, Kennedy Kimeu, Boniface Mweresa, who just competed in the 100. Close to getting that.
I think I can take a look at Laban Kipkorir and also Emmanuel Ryan. I mean, from the look of things, they haven't done that bad with most of these guys coming from the Kenya Defense Forces, because you're looking at Laban Kipkorir, the only one coming out of the Kenya Defense Forces is from the South Rift. Kelvin Sawe Tauta, Kenya Defense Forces. Zablon Ekale Kwam, Kenya Defense Forces. William Ryan the same, with an exception of Emmanuel Mutua from Kenya Police Service. But all in all, it comes down to the wire on how they can push themselves to beat that 45-second mark and qualify for Budapest.
And just a confirmation of the athletes to compete in this one. In lane number 3 is a former rugby player, Collins Omaya Gishana, was captain for Team Kenya at the Africa Athletics Championships held last year, where Kenya scooped a lot of medals. So he'll be competing in lane number 3 alongside Kevin Sawe Tauta. Zablon Ekwam, I think he's the fastest coming into this one. And of course, Laban Kipkorir, Emmanuel Mutua, and Kun War Liem of South Sudan. But then I look at Collins Omai, 47.20. he seems to be struggling a little bit this season. It's unlike him.
Pretty much it all depends with the preparation. But all again, I mean, it's not a race where it's an in-between between a sprint and a jog. Basically that kind of a pace that you can match up maybe at 70 or 80%, not really 100% sprint and not really a jog that you can go below 50. So getting that quality between these athletes is something of a challenge, you can say. And again, it all depends with the weather, it all depends with the preparation, it all depends on how competitive the other athletes will come on you.
Born in 1989, a very, very experienced middle distance runner, Collins Omae. Of course, he used to play rugby at some point in his life, but then decided to move to the middle distances. And it's given him a little bit of mileage. Could it be the frustration at the rugby union, or it was just about, let me just try and change course? Because he started it, and then all of a sudden we've seen a couple of athletes decide, okay, let me decamp the ball game and go to the track.
I mean, we can say that's the beauty of athletics. I mean, you're going to find maybe one or two athletes that are multi-talented. I once interviewed Ferdinand Omanyala, and he told me he started with rugby too. I remember back in the days when I used to play football, there was a guy that was a very, very good striker that also played for FC Leopards. It was called Boniface, I'm forgetting his name, but he was a very, very good rugby player too. So we're going to find the guys that are multi-talented. Boniface Maruti, yeah, Bonaventure Maruti. Bonaventure Maruti was a rugby player, and look how he excelled both at rugby and both in football. So you're going to find these kind of athletes that can excel in both fields. But it just takes a little bit of a niche to try and adapt to a particular event.
45.00 is the time required. Remember, all these athletes almost attain the qualification time for Budapest. Collins Omae coming into this one, his personal best, 45.19 seconds. So he still has a lot of work to do in this one. Kevin Tauta, his personal best, 48.80. Zablon Ekwam, the young man born in 1997, 45.47. And then Laban Kipkorir, 46.15 is his best time. Not really impressive, but he needs to improve on that. He posted that 46.15 here 2 weeks ago. So it seems that he is on an upward curve. And then we have Emmanuel Mutua, 46.31. And then the man from South Sudan, the refugee athlete, Kur Wam Liam, 48.35, posted here 2 weeks ago. He's back here to try out and see if he can qualify for Budapest. Looking at this, the personal best, of course, goes to Collins Omae. He has the fastest time, not this year. This year, his season best is 47.20. So he's fallen a little bit back on this one, and he has to make sure that he gets his boots, or rather, the spikes, back.
Everything has to go down to this, because at the end of the day you have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? You are doing this for the sake of patriotism, for the sake of representing your country. Every single athlete in his career wants to represent the country at one level or another. So getting to the World Championships in Budapest is a dream for all these athletes. For me, yes, you might have a season best and a personal best, but at the end of the day, it all depends on how you're going to perform here today.
And of course, Wide Van Niekerk still holds the world record, 43.03 seconds. And that is what every athlete wants to beat, especially in the 400 meters. And if an athlete wants to qualify for the final, the first 3 places, of course, and of course the 2 fastest losers. So this promises to be a race that everyone will be looking forward to finishing in the first 3 positions.
Pretty much you can say so. We just have to wait and see who these athletes will be. I mean, they pretty much approach each other, looking at the screens. They know each other and they're saying hi to each other. But you know, this has to end in the next couple of minutes when they take on each other.
For the start of this one, remember we have 5 minutes to go before this one kicks off. So if you're joining us, we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium.
mbaya.
Chairman, perhaps this time round tumeona there is a shorter program. Perhaps what happened upande wa organization?
The shorter program is because of the fact that we have a few athletes because of invitation. The reason is that we wanted to make sure that those athletes who are competing have met all the requirements for World Championship. And that primary requirement is that an athlete that is allowed to compete here must have undergone one test out of competition, so that now they will not have problems when they have been selected. So I think we don't have the usual number of athletes that compete. It is restricted to only those who have actually met all those conditions. You have seen the presence of AIU here and ADAC, and every athlete that is competing was supposed to pick up their own numbers individually, and then immediately after that being tested before competing. That has happened, and you can see now that quite a number, not so many athletes have turned up.
Actually, congratulations about that. We've seen a lot of athletes violating the anti-doping violation, rules being caught. We recommend you for the good work that you've been doing.
Number 8, so we'll have Collins Omae, Kelvin in lane number 3, Kelvin Tauta in lane number 4, Zablon Ekal Ekwam in lane number 5, Laban Kipkori in lane number 6, and Emmanuel Mutua, born in 2002, the youngest member of this group of athletes, running in lane number 7. So we're ready for the start of the 400 meters. Smoothly we go, and of course in lane number 5, Zablon Ekwam comes out of the blocks really nicely, and you can see he's doing what he did here 2 weeks ago, and he's taken the lead earlier on heading into the last 200 meters, and you can feel that Ekwam is in cruise control of this one, heading into that bend before heading to the home stretch. Zablon Ekwam, of course, and Laban Korir coming in second, but then watch out of this young man Ekwam coming out very strongly in lane number 5. Zablon Ekwam stretching that lead. It's really confident. We are just looking at the time. Can he really try and push that time? It's 45.79. An official time, of course, will be confirming that one. But this young man, Ekwam, he's just shown that he has what it takes at least to beat the... It will be difficult, but then 45.97 in this altitude, not really bad.
I mean, the time to beat was 45 seconds, and he's just missed it by some milliseconds. I mean, what a race it has been. He's really pushed himself to the wire and trying to make it 45.79. I mean, that's an amazing race. If you ask me, he's done extremely good under these conditions.
That's the first semi-final of the 400 meters, of course. Zablon Ekwam winning that one in a time of 45.75. It's unofficial, of course, because we also have to get the confirmations of the times posted here. That was the first semi-final of the 400 meters. And of course, we'll be looking at who is in semi-final number 2.
400 meters women.
Faith Kipyegon on the right side, waving to the crowd. Of course, she's elated with the reception she's gotten here. So in the second semi-final, Shadrach.
Yeah, the second semi-final is gonna be amazing. Huh? We're looking at Elkana Kiprotich Chemelil with the personal best. Zablon Ekwam, first of all, have to look for the semi-final hit one. Look at the screens. He's done amazingly well. 45.77. Kelvin Sawi Tauta coming in second at 46.32. Laban Kipkorir coming in at third place, 47.01. Emmanuel Mutua, 47.14. Collins Omae Gichana, the former rugby player, finishing last or second last at 48.14. While Kun War Liem, the guy from South Sudan, did not really have an impact at this. That has been the semi-final hit one. As we wait for the semi-final hit two, We'll be looking at
for,
Elkana Kiprotich.
we're expecting Botswana, Nigeria, but unfortunately they have not come. So we're going just to go concentrate in the 400 flat, but we're hoping for the best. We shall be there in the World Champs. Already we've qualified by 4x4, 4x4 mix. So definitely, you know, I'm the national champ, so I have to be in the Budapest. Yeah.
Thank you, all the best.
Thank you a lot, and nashukuru.
That is.
So once again, we want to appreciate some of the runners who are in the stadium today to support the formation of this amazing Kenyan national team. We want to appreciate them. We have seen a number of them, Vivian Cherio is here. Vivian Cherio. Let's appreciate her for our world champion and Olympic champion. So somebody's asking me, what happens when it's cold? What happens when it is so cold to run? What happens is this slows down the times that the athletes will post. One of you tells me that if you're running in a cold weather, your times are likely to slow down. You won't run as fast as you want to run. 400 meters, semifinals number 2. Let's also appreciate the presence of ADAP. ADAP is the anti-doping agency of Kenya. Let's appreciate them. They're here to make sure that everybody in the sport stays clean, runs clean, to make the sport clean as possible. That is the organization that was formed by the Kenyan government to make sure.
Back to the second semi-final of the 400 meters. On your screen is Samuel Toili, tidying up himself, of course, fixing the bibs, the bib number. In lane number 7, of course, is Jared Momanyi. Toili being the youngest member in this second semi-final, born on 28th of June 2005. And that's the lineup. Elkana Kiprotich, Chemelil, 46.36 is season best. Coming into this one, Kennedy Kimeu Mutoka, 46.09. The fastest man in the second semi-final is Boniface Mueres out on Tuga, of course, 45.73. And then the young Samuel Toili, 46.18. And Jared Nyambweke Momanyi. His personal best, of course, 45.13. Hosted last year at the Kasarani Stadium during the trials for the Olympics. So those are the participants in the men's 400 meters semi-final number 2.
So 400 meters semi-finals number 2.
Afterwards, we'll have the women 400 meters. It will be a final, I'm told. The 400 meters women will be a final. So, who will catch up with Mary Mora? But first of all, Elkana Kiprotich, Kennedy Kimeu, Boniface Ontuga Mweresa, Samuel Toili, and of course, Jared Nyambweke Momanyi. And that is Kennedy Kimeu, the man from KDF, running his second race of the day after winning the 100 meters earlier on. Jared Momanyi, 45.13 is his fastest time. So 4 athletes in this one, in lane number 4, 5, 6, and 7. So missing is lane number 3, that is but then we're ready. So Kimeu, Mweresa, Toili, Momanyi, Chemelil missing. So it will be from lane number 4 to lane number 7. There we go smoothly, the 400 meters semi-final. That's very, very good from Jared Momanyi, taking the early lead. But then watch out for Mweresa in lane number 5, taking the lead for the first time. Coming on the inside is Mweresa. Momanyi on the outside. Kennedy Kimeu taking that bend nicely, but it's Kimeu in the lead, Mweresa in second, and of course Momanyi in third. It is Mweresa showing what he's made of. Toili falling a little bit behind, but then watch out for Kimeli. But Mweresa will be taking this one home. It's 45.83.
Definitely will be the man to beat. Remember, during the 100-meter hits, earlier mentioned it that this guy is a former Olympics during the 2012, but did not qualify. And 2017 IAAF World Relays winner in Bahamas. His name is Boniface Ontuga Mweresa. He's a 400-meter specialist. So basically what he was just trying to do is just like we normally say, when you're back home, you're really back home, you have to swim with the flow. And he's done extremely well.
Of course, it's the 7th of July, 2023. A very historic day in Kenya, by the way. But then watch out for Mweresa heading into the 200-meter mark. Toili was leading the way, Momanyi in second, but then Mweresa using his experience, just as he did in the 100 meters. Coming in strongly there, Boniface Mweresa, Ontuga. And you can feel that this young man has what it takes to take on the rest of the world. He wasn't grimacing. He was just taking his time. He knew how to take the strides. He knew when to make it happen. He knew when to kick. Toili was leading. The young man, perhaps inexperience, came through and played part in him dropping further back. Momanyi, with his experience, fell into third. But then coming into the bend towards the home stretch, Mweresa decided, this is my specialty, this is where I want to be, and took the front, coming in really, really strongly. Toili, of course, falling way back. But then on the outside, Kimeli realized that he had a chance. On the home stretch, you could see Kimeli decided, let me take this head on. He tried pushing Mweresa, but then look at the focus in Mweresa's face. Look at his determination. He was looking at the clock. He knew that he had what it takes to make it to the final. And he just did that in style. Toili falling farther back. And the fastest man coming into this one, Momanyi, just beat him towards the end. But in the end, of course, it was Mweresa winning with Kimeli finishing second in lane number 4.
What a race it has been. I mean, Ontuga definitely was the man to beat Boniface Ontuga Mweresa. I mean, we just wish him well. At least if he can qualify for 2 events in Budapest, Hungary, it will be a plus for him personally and also for Kenya.
Looking forward to Otunga versus Zablon Ekwam tomorrow, of course, in the final. As also, we are waiting for the start of the 400 meters women final. Rose Ihisia Uharo should be running in lane number 1. Veronica Kamumbe Mutua, Millicent Ndoro, Marcio Dongo Kech, Mary Mora, who's aiming to do a double in Budapest, will be running in lane number 5. Shida Lenyo of Uganda, she's been here. She knows this stuff really, really well. She knows the track and she knows what to do. Qualified in a time of 52.11 seconds. And of course, there's Mary Nyatichi Thomas, another fast athlete also coming in. Very, very experienced. And of course, Mercy Chebet, who's coming in lane number 8. So, a couple of minutes before we see the ladies come out of the dugout for the 400 meters women final. Witnessed the 5,000 meters women final where Faith Kipyegon won. We've witnessed the 100 meters both for the men, for the men, both semifinals. And I understand the 2 Omuruas will be in the finals tomorrow.
That is the elder Omurua and the younger Omurua. I mean, it will be such a great event, but I think, of course, all eyes will be on the Ferdinand Omanyala Omuro, the older Omuro. I mean, for the younger lad, it's just an experience he's gaining, such an exposure, such an event for him. Because remember, the same final will also be having Boniface Ontuga Mweresa. So it depends on him, how prepared is he to try and beat that final time and make it to the team to Budapest. If he does make the team to Budapest, it will be such an amazing experience for him and also for Kenya, because at last we'll be having someone who can take over the mantle from the Omurwa.
Someone who can take over the mantle, of course. We'll be looking forward to that final. That will be happening here tomorrow at the Nyayo National Stadium. We hope for a warmer day tomorrow, because I'm looking at the temperatures today. It's cold, freezing.
I wish you have an opportunity. May God bless you one day so that you can go to Russia or Siberia.
I really don't want to go to Siberia, because I can imagine whatever I see on global channels, it's not really what we want to see here. But then in Nairobi, it's really, really cold. Highs of 17 this afternoon. And like what we are used to, it's July, of course. They normally say July is the month whereby it's cold in the country. But that does not deter these talented athletes from doing what they love doing most. And as we await for the 400 meters women, will it be the final? Yes, it is the final. 8 athletes competing in this one. And it's really, really interesting to see Mary Mora aiming to qualify for the 400 meters final, to claim the ticket for Budapest, and of course do a double in the 800 meters. She's had a very, very fantastic season.
Pretty much you can say so. Talking about the weather, remember, except for sprinters, most of these athletes, they train in pretty much the same conditions in their training camps in Kaptaga, T10, wherever they train, because those are high altitude weather conditions. So they're pretty much at home with this. What can be different with them is that there are a little bit of climatic changes and the terrain can be a little bit of different. But their muscles will pretty much adapt to this pretty much well. So I don't see any difficulty with them. It will be a challenge for them, but it can be a little bit of change, because right now, when you go to European countries, in Hungary, we are talking about the end of summer getting to the fall. In Kenya right now, this can be said as our winter. So for the sprinters, a little bit challenging. For the long distance runners, you can say they are pretty much at home with this.
That's Mercy Odongo-Okech in lane number 4, fixing her spikes before the start of this stormy final in the 400 meters. The qualification for Budapest, of course, is gathering pace here, and the entry standard for the World Athletics Championships, of course, in the 400 meters women is 51 seconds, and as it stands, Mary Moraa, 50.44, which is her season best, is the only athlete that has beat the time set for that one. So those are the participants for the 400 meters women final. Rose Uharo, 66.33. Veronica Kamumbe Mutua in lane number 2. Millicent Ndoro in lane number 3. Mercy Odongo-Okech in lane number 4. Mary Moraa in her favorite lane number 5. 50.44 is the time she is her season's best. Shida Lenye of Uganda, 52.11. Maureen Nyatiti Thomas, 52.82. And Mercy Chebet, 53.55. So the national record still being held by Mary Moraa, who's really having a great season. And the world record, of course, Marita Koch, 47.60. And the African record, Falitat Ogukonya, 49.10. And we talk about the world lead time this year is 48.98 seconds in the 400 meters women. So this is the 400 meters women final. And the event, the trials for the World Athletics Championships, will be held in Hungary next month.
Kwenye leni ya kwanza ni mwanariadha Rose Ihisa Uharo ambaye anawakilisha timu ya refugees. Kwenye leni ya pili ni Veronica Kamumbe Mutua kwenye leni ya pili. Leni ya tatu ni Millicent Ndoro. Kwenye leni ya nne ni Mercy Odongo-Okech.
Mercy Odongo in lane number 4.
Kwenye leni ya tano ni mwanariadha ambaye anashikilia rekodi ya kitaifa ya mita 400.
That's the national record holder, Mary Moraa, in lane number 5. She's already qualified, by the way, for the 400 meters. That's Mary Moraa for you. Then in lane number 6 is Shida Lenye from Uganda, 52.11, coming into this one. And that is the experienced Maureen Nyatiti Thomas. So Mercy Chebet completing the lineup in lane number 8. And there we go, all smoothly. And watch out for Mary Moraa in lane number 5. Millicent Ndoro also coming in really strongly. Mercy Okech in lane number 4, falling way back. But Mary Moraa taking the lead, heading into the last 200 meters. She's really fast. Coming over to the last 100 meters. That is Mary Moraa for you. Coming in and overtaking Maureen Nyatiti Thomas, and that is Mary Moraa for you. Shida Lenye currently occupying 3rd place. It is now Mary Moraa against the rest, and you can see she's really strong. That is Mary Moraa for you, and she'll be winning this one. We just will be looking at the time. 50.39. Just confirming that she'll be going in Budapest for the Worldies. I'm being informed the unofficial time 50.39. That is the unofficial time, of course. And that is Mary Moraa in bib number 23. Look at the confidence she has, running on high altitude, really, really fast. Her specialty being the 800 meters, but now we await for the confirmation. She might have lowered her national record. Mary Moraa might just have lowered her national record in the 400 meters.
She definitely was the woman to beat. Look at her strides. She has such an amazing kick in the finals. But again, I told you, at Budapest, she will be facing against a thing move of the United States of America. What a run that will be.
Coming into this race, she had posted a national record of 50.44, but the unofficial time is 50.39. So Mary Moraa might have just broken the national record over the 400 meters.
Pretty much that's it, and that's what we're waiting for. I mean, if she does, if true he has broken that record, I mean, that's something that will spike a lot of interest to a lot of athletic stakeholders in the country. It is amazing for her. I mean, I would say for Mary Moraa, this is her year.
Kulingana na venye nimekimbia haichakuwa mbaya, although weather ilikuwa si mzuri, but Mungu ametushalia tumekimbia vizuri, na nimeona nimekimbia na nimefunja rekodi yangu. Nafurahia sana na performance ya hii season.
After in between with the World Championship, any diamond race?
Yeah, I have diamond ring in Poland on 16 July. Naomba Mungu anitendee kila kitu ikuwe sawa.
Ukienda diamond league, sana target yako itakuwa nini?
I think my target this season is to learn 155. That's my plan, that's my target. Yes.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. That's Mary Moraa. She's just won the 400 meters heats, and she's looking forward to competing, maybe doubling up in the 800 and the 400 meters in the forthcoming World Championships in Budapest. She's hoping that she'll do a 155 in the 800 meters. And from us here, we say until later after the next race, back to you to the commentary booth.
As we wait for the men's semi-finals, 800 meters. There are two semi-finals in this, and those are the runners over there coming down to the start of the men's 800 meters. Two semi-finals. There are two semi-finals in the men's 800 meters.
As we head over to the 800 meters semi-final men, of course, two semi-finals to watch out to here. Collins Kipruto, Aaron Kemei Cheminingwa, Collins Tuwei, Wycliffe Kimanyal. Of course, there's Elias Ngeny, Kotaitoi Kidali, and William Ryan.
National record holder at 50.44.
Remember, Kenya still has the world record over the 800 meters. David Rudisha, 140.91. And of course, this year the lead time is 1 minute 43.27 seconds. So this lineup has very, very interesting athletes. 143.56, Kimanyal, the national champion.
I think the man to beat will be Wycliffe Kimanyal. look at his record, extremely amazing. 1:43.12. I mean, coming in closer there, I think you can be liking for Koitatoi Kidali. But definitely, for the likes of Collins Kiprundo, they have to beat Kimanyal in this.
Of course, also we'll be looking forward to see what Collins Tuwei can do in this one.
14.91, that's the world record, the current world record.
Of course, David Rudisha will be looking with keen interest in this one. And of course, we'll wait to see if Emmanuel Korir will be racing in this one. I understand that he's not yet healed properly, so he'll not be taking part, the Olympic champion. So in semi-final number 2, we have John Likobe Taban, an athlete representing the refugees. We have Kelvin Kimutai Loti, Noah Kibet, a very fast athlete. Ferguson Cheruiyot Rotich, former world champion in Doha 2019, silver medalist in the Olympics, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Then there is Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the hotshot. This young man has shown the rest of the world that he has what it takes to be maybe one of the best 800-meter athletes ever. And then there is Alex Kipngetich and Festus Lagat. So that is the lineup for the second semi-final. I know you'll be looking at this one saying that it is Wanyonyi versus Rotich who goes to the final.
And of course, like all the Luyas across in this country will be so happy for Wanyonyi. At least he represents the people that we can say Mulembe Nation.
Of course, the Mulembe Nation is watching closely across the globe on Facebook, Athletics Kenya. And of course, we are streaming live on YouTube, bringing you all the action here live from the Nyayo National Stadium. So we await for the start of the first semi-final of the 800 meters.
Basi semi-finali ya kwanza mbio za mita 800 katika leni ya pili Collins Kipruto, leni ya tatu Aaron Kemeche Minimwa, leni ya 4 Cornelius Tuwei, leni 5 Wycliffe Kinyamal Kisai, leni 6 Elias Ng'eny, leni 7 Koitatoi Kidali, and lane 8, William Ryan.
The 800 meters semi-final number 1, of course 2 laps over this.
We also have Billy Conchela. We also have Ole Marai here. We also have
Watch out for Kinyamal, of course, in bib number 32. Currently leading the way is Koitalel Kidali, the man born in 2003. But this one promises fireworks. What do you expect heading into the last 650 meters?
Definitely in this one, we're going to see. I mean, he started pretty much well on lane, the first lane. That started on number 7. He started pretty much well. But I think the first 3, maybe the second might fall, and we might see maybe another one emerging from that, as the third person is being overtaken by the second one.
Collins Tuwei, the national champion, is also there. The former national champion, Wycliffe Kinyamal Kisasi, also there. But then it's getting to tighten up. Still leading is Kidali. But that coming from the outside is Aaron Kemei. But then Kidali hanging on there. Watch out for the national champion Tuwei. Kinyamal currently in third, now stretching his long strides, heading into the home stretch. It is Tuwei versus Cornelius. It is Kinyamal versus Tuwei. I beg your pardon. It is Cornelius Tuwei. But then what of Kinyamal? Stretching his lead, but then Kinyamal will be winning that one in a time of 1 minute 46.49. I think Cornelius Tuwei might have come in third.
Kinyamal definitely was the man to beat right here. Look at even his personal best. An amazing run it has been. The final, I would say, the final 60 meters has been so much impressive. There, and there would be deciding the winner of this race. Kinyamal has done extremely well in this.
Kinyamal, of course, beating Cornelius Tuwei in the 800 meters, semi-final number 1. And just go through the second semi-final. Just for clarification, Ferguson Rotich will be running in the second semi-final, but that's how it went.
Final. Perhaps not compared to leo, tumeona hapa kwa
Sasa leo ilikuwa ni kuingia tu final, so that kesho ndio kazi. Leo ilikuwa ni nini tu kuingia tu final. Sasa kesho ndio kazi, then after kesho tuangalie mbele. Yeah.
You've had a good run this season. Perhaps nini umebadilisha kwa training yako, and you had a back issue. Has it cleared?
Yeah, by the way nimekuwa na hiyo shida since 2018 ya mgongo, but sasa hizi imepona. So sasa hizi niko sawa. Yeah, na training pia nilijia tu kuenda long runs, then sasa ndio maana sasa hizi niko sawa. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
That was Wycliffe Kinyamal, the two-time Commonwealth champion. Kinyamal, he had a rough season last year and the last year but one because of his back injury, but he's happy to be back. And he's saying that he's focusing only on going for the finals and making for Team Kenya. And as we head to the second semi-final of the 800 men, I'm taking you back to the booth.
And Kinyamal makes it to the final. Of course, the top three rather, and that is the confirmation of the time. Kinyamal 146.48, Collins Kipruto finishing in second, 146.62, Collins Tuwei, the national champion, coming in third, 146.64, Elias Ngeny, Aaron Kemei, Koitatoi Kidali, who led quite a bit, and then William Ryan, 1 minute 49.55 seconds. So those are the results of semi-final number 1 of the 800 meters.
What an amazing race for the results of 800 meters semi-final hit 1. But I also think that the next heat will be such an amazing, with Ferguson Cheriot Rotich being there, the 33-year-old. I mean, the veteran will not be a late timer. I mean, looking at him, and he's such a middle distance runner who competes in the 800 meters with a personal best of 1:42.54. Remember, he represented Kenya at the 2013 World Championships in athletics and was a gold medalist at the 4x800 meters relay at the 2014 IAAF World Relays. And remember also the 2020 Summer Olympics, he won a silver medal finishing behind his countryman Emmanuel Korir. So we do have such a strong team in the men's 800 meters as we head to the second semi-final heat.
As they come out of the dugout, 7 athletes to compete in the second semi-final of the 800 meters. Remember, afterwards we'll have the 200 meters. It's all happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. John Nikobetaban, Kevin Kimutai, Noah Kibet, Ferguson Rotich, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, Alex Ngeno, Kip Ngetich, and Festus Lagat. In a bit, they'll be taking part in the 800 meters. If you're enjoying this from the comfort of your seat, we are live from the Nyayo National Stadium, streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And that is Emmanuel Wanyonyi in bib number 31. Of course, it's cold in Nairobi and jackets are a necessity.
Look at those gentlemen with the second semi-final. What a lineup it will be. Ferguson Rotich, the 33-year-old veteran, should be also looking for John Lokibe Taban. We should be also looking for Kelvin Kimutai Loti. This is such a lineup it will be.
Watch out for the experienced Ferguson Rotich, the Olympic silver medalist in Tokyo. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, former world junior champion. And of course, Noah Kibet. Wanyonyi, of course, with his personal best, 1 minute 43.27 seconds, posted earlier on this year. And Noah Kibet, 144.88. That is Festus Lagat.
The winner of the first one, the first semi-finals, was Kenya Mal, the man from Masai Land, King Boris, and I'm sure Billy Conchella can hear me. And I appreciate that he handed over to younger athletes. 800 meters.
Wanyonyi in lane number 5, Noah Likobe Taban in lane number 1, Kevin Kimutai, Noah Kibet, Alex Ngeno, and of course Festus Lagat. This promises to be a race that everyone will be watching with close keenness.
Yeah, of course, the sensational Emmanuel Wanyonyi. At only 18 years of age, what a guy we'll be looking at right now. Emmanuel Wanyonyi is specialized in the 800 meters at only 18 and is placed 4th at the 2022 World Athletics Championships. Wanyonyi also won a gold medal at the 2021 World Under-20 Championship, setting a championship record in the process. Right now, he wants to qualify for the Kenya national team that will represent the country in Budapest, Hungary.
Lane 2, Kevin Kimutai Loti. Lane 3, Noah Kibet. Lane 4, Ferguson Toriot Rotich. Lane 5, the world's fastest man in 800, Emmanuel Wanyonyi. Number 6, Alex Ngeno Tungetich from the prison service. Number 7, Festus Lagat.
That's Alex Ngeno, and of course Festus Lagat. And there you go, the 800 meters semi-final, number 2. Watch out for Wanyonyi, the experienced Rotich, running in typical fashion, and that's Wanyonyi taking the forefront. That is Emmanuel Wanyonyi on the inside, just ahead of Alex Ngeno Kipngetich. Typical fashion of Wanyonyi, running from the front.
Setting the pace early. We can only hope that it doesn't burn him out. Look at Ferguson Rotich. Though he's now blessed at 4th place, but he's taking it tactically with very, very slow pace, kind of sizing up the other racers, how they're performing so well. At the end of it all, I believe that he can pass up and maybe make it to the podium finish.
In second place, of course, is Alex Ngeno Kipngetich, 144.90. Of course, second fastest man on this one, but Wanyonyi on the inside, really, really strong. He seems to be enjoying every bit of action here, stretching that lead just a little bit. Ferguson Rotich, the 33-year-old, not really in contention in this one. He's falling further back. He is currently in 6th place, but Wanyonyi in typical fashion, trying so much to stay afloat. Kelvin Kimutai coming from the outside, but then it is Wanyonyi on the home stretch, taking that bend nicely, trying to ensure that he stays ahead of this man, Alex Kipngeno. This is going to be very, very interesting. It is between the two youngsters, but then Kipngeno winning this one. Ferguson Rotich just trying to come in between, but then easing through is Wanyonyi. I think he didn't want to win this one, but rather make it to the final.
I mean, I told you, look at the old dog Ferguson Rotich tactically doing it and finishing on a podium finish. But again, you have to give it up for Emmanuel Wanyonyi. That youngster, 18 years of age, leading from the start. What an effort. That should be something commendable. I mean, for Kenya having such a youngster, 18 years of age, we can only hope for the best. Kudos to him.
Winner of this race, of course, Alex Ngeno Kipngetich, born on 17th of August 2000. Ferguson, of course, I believe he's made it to the final, so it will be a very, very interesting final because the top three athletes, of course, will be making it for the finals to be held here tomorrow. That is the final of the 800 meters happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. So it is Alex Ngeno 1, Emmanuel Wanyonyi 2, and of course Ferguson Rotich coming in 3rd, and that's how it went. Wanyonyi in typical fashion, leading from the front, but easing towards the end, and it was Alex Kipngetich winning that one. I think that Wanyonyi decided just try and a little bit. Ferguson Rotich looking over his shoulder to see who's coming in, but Alex winning at 1 minute 46.35 seconds. So that handing over to Charity to hear what she has to say. She is with Emmanuel Wanyonyi.
Kitu ya kwanza nashukuru Mungu kwa siku leo ameniwezesha, nimekimbia vizuri. So naomba Mungu kesho nikiamka poa. Kitu ya kwanza ni kumake team then kwenda kule Budapest Hungary. Maybe inaweza kuwa surprise. Na tutakimbia. Kwenda huko si kwenda kwenye tutakimbia, niko sure. Tutakimbia. Training nimeona iko sawa, nina improve kwa training. So ni expect results nzuri kesho. Yeah. Thank you.
Ferguson, congratulations on your way to Kenya. Perhaps ukiangalia sahi kwa World Championships, your gold medal finally inakuja.
First, let me say thank to God kwa race ya leo nimemake kwenda finals. That was the main thing, and then I'll go and strategize vile nitaenda kesho finali, vile nitakimbia with my coach. Tukimaliza finali ndio taona way forward to World Champs. Kwa sahi naweza sema vijana wako, competition is high, so kesho I think itakuwa tight race, and tumekimbia kwa muda mingi za maybe ile experience and ile natarajia kuimprove my medal position. That's what it keeps me going. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All the best tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
We started with Emmanuel Wanyonyi. He won the second heat of the men's semi-final. Wanyonyi is the former under-20 champion. He's saying that his main target will be making to Team Kenya and seeing that, looking forward to representing Kenya for his first World Championships. And then we had Ferguson Rotich, who finished second in the second heat. Ferguson is saying that he's hoping that during the World Championships he's going to be improving his medal bracket, perhaps going for a gold after getting a silver in the last World Championships. From me here, as we head to the men 200 meters semi-final, back to you to the booth.
Thank you, Charity. Charity has been talking to Ferguson Rotich and Emmanuel Onyonyi, of course the finalists in the 800 meters tomorrow. And these are the official results.
Look at that, Emmanuel Onyonyi coming in first at 1:46.35. Alex Ngeno Kipngetich second, 1:46.38. Ferguson Rotich completing the podium. At one point, you could see that Ferguson Rotich was falling behind, but again, the experience, 33 years of age, because compared to Emmanuel Onyonyi, who's only 18, he just got his national ID. I'm not sure even Emmanuel Onyonyi has an ID, but with Ferguson Rotich, experience is very, very important. I can only hope and pray that Ferguson Rotich makes the final cut of this team, because in as much as we have Emmanuel Onyonyi, quite inexperienced, yes, such a buzzing, sensational athlete, but we also need a veteran to guide him through all the way.
Ferguson Rotich, of course, very experienced, learned from the likes of David Rudisha, the likes of Alfred Kirwa Yego, the likes of Toom, but he's here again trying to push the young lads to ensure that at least Kenya is well represented in Budapest. The 200 meters is coming up. We'll start with the women final, where Eunice Kadogo Murandafu is expected to run in lane number 3. Monica Safania, Esther Mbagari, Jacinta Namuhange of Uganda, Millicent Ndoro, and Rose Ihisia Uharo. That is the lineup for the 200 meters. Wow, this is very, very interesting. You look at the times posted here and the qualification standard times for the World Athletics Championships. There's a lot of work to do here.
I think the woman to beat here will be Eunice Kadogo Murandafu, who was a personal best of 23.64, and also checking on Jacinta Namahunge, who was a personal best of 23.62. Do not forget Millicent Ndoro, 23.48. Also Monica Safania with 24.06. It's such a closely contested race based on how they are performing the personal best and their season best too. But at the end of it all, we have to see who comes out the best to make the final cut for the team tomorrow.
And of course, they have to make sure that they are well within the qualification standard time of the 200 meters, which, by the way, is a fast stretch for the ladies. They're really trying. We can't say that they're not trying. They're really trying. Of course, for the 200 meters, it is 22.60 seconds. That's the standard qualifying time for the 200 meters, 22.60. But if you look at this field of athletes, it is Kadogo who is coming closer to that. But with a season best of 24.37, she has a lot of work to do. Watch out also for Esther Mbagari, the national champion. We talked about her 2 weeks ago. She has the potential of actually making it to Team Kenya if she can actually decide to say that today I'm going to do a sub 22. But let me hand over to Charity on the touchline.
Okay. Joined here by Richard Matelong, a former steeplechase athlete. Matelong, perhaps we can discuss a little bit about the evolution in the steeplechase, and Kenya has lost their dominance. Kenya, tunahitaji kufanya nini so that we can take back our dominance, the 3,000 meter steeplechase?
Well, first of all, I want to say that as a former steeplechaser, I feel a bit, I'm not settled because we've lost the dominance in steeplechase. Like right now, we are going to the World Championship with a group of athletes, which I can say they can't match our opponents. So, what we can do is to sit down around table with those former athletes, former steeplechasers, and see what are we doing that we are not doing now, or what is changing. Currently, the world has changed, and we need to embrace the scientific way of training so that we match with the dynamics of the world. Because now if you can compare our athletes and those others, like the Moroccan, the Ethiopian, there is that big gap between our athletes and them. So I would say that we've fallen back a lot in steeplechase, and a lot that need to be done, and it should be now.
And when you say a lot needs to be done, perhaps maybe you point out a few things. One is the scientific approach in training. What else can be done?
I think what we can do, as I said, we need to have a round table with us, those who are steeplechase and the former, those who did well in steeplechase, and see how best can we improve in steeplechase. Like now, we go sport lending the young athletes from the youth. We need to identify them, those who can do well, maybe from the 300 meters, from these young athletes, put them in a camp. We make it a project. Like now, for next year, we have an Olympic. We need to invest in it because we need to move away from this. Normally, our athletes bring their camps, and we need to see what is it that we are not doing. So when we go to these young athletes, young talents, those we can help to nurture them for long and they can run for long. Of course, by investing, getting good coaches for them, we make it a long-term project. And I know sometimes I can say what is happening now is good. You know, when you win always, maybe you can relax. But when you are beaten Kidogo, you will go back to the drawing board, you come back strongly. And I believe myself, if you can do that, we'll bounce back strongly. Yes.
I know you've watched El Bakardi running. Perhaps a tip that you can give us, you can give our Kenyan athlete on how to handle him while he's handling the hurdles, the barriers, I mean?
Steeplechase is a kind of a complex event, and then an athlete who runs steeplechase well need to have that speed, like over 1,500 meters runner, techniques like that of a hurdler, and stamina like that of a steeplechaser. So there is something you're lacking. Currently now, the El Bagali and the Girma, if you see their speed, someone is running 329. He has a lot of speed and lots of techniques. So what I can say to my coach is that we need to look more on speed and barriers techniques so that we can also match the speed of our opponents. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We hope for the best for Team Kenya. Thank you.
We're now ready for the 200 meters finals. Among the star athletes to check out will be Kun Ward Liem with a personal belt of 22.15. Wiseman Were Mohobe, 21.39. Moses Wasiki Onyango, 21.35. Samuel Chege Waweru, 20.89. Stephen Otweno Luoch, 21.08. Dan Kiviasia Samba, 21.19. Steve Onyango Odhiambo, 22.00. Look at them. Look at them. Amazing warm-up. I have to appreciate those members that are... look at that list. Hesbon Odoro Cheng. Hesbon Odoro Cheng will be in this. Kun Warliem, Wiseman Were Mohove, Moses Wasiki Onyango, Samuel Chege Waweru, Stephen Otieno Luoch, Dan Kiviasia Samba, and Steve Onyango Odhiambo. That is the lineup for the 8 men that will be doing duty in these. I really appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much, Flora Mayo, for saying that Million Bekele is not famous but my favorite. James William Mugeni is saying great input Matelong. Collins Tanui Kipruto is saying Bora Kenya. Boaz Bazenga South Rift inakuja na ubaya, especially Kericho County. Thank you so much for those of us that are making their comments on the Athletics Kenya Facebook page. My name is Shadrach Andenga Odinga. You can also find me on my Facebook page, Andenga wa Odinga. Gregory Mulemi is your other commentator. You can also find him at Greg Mulemi. As we set foot in this, Kurwa Liem ready for this. Hesbon Ochieng, who just got red carded in his 100 meters hit for a false start will be getting another chance here. Samuel Chege in his second event after his triumph in the final, the first semi-final of the 100 meters is also here. Daniel Kiviasia Samba with a tag 0-1-2 is right here. The 200-meter men's final. 7 of these will be out here. Sadly, one is not available. King David Julia says hakuna matata. Chep Korir Shera says hatuna muscles. Kitur Olegibey called in, say watching from Bomet town. Thank you so much for those who are watching and catching us live on our Facebook page. Ready for the start. Samuel Chege Waweru getting in ready for this. Dan Kiviasi at lane number 7 is also ready for this. Such a tense moment when it comes to these races. Such a tense moment. Remember, it's all about for the qualification to represent Kenya at the World Games, World Championships in Budapest, Hungary. Every single person is tense for this. Simon Mayoyo, he says Chege atawezana nayo. Dennis Bitok watching from Nandi. Thank you so much, Mercy Simon. Come on, Team Kenya. Willie John saying hii championship tunafagia kila kitu hadi kifagio tuende nalo. Asante sana. Thank you so much for those who are commenting on our Facebook page. You can also find me on my Facebook page, Andengo Odinga. There's a streamline there, Athletics Kenya Facebook page. You can also find us on Chat East Africa Sports is a group on Facebook where you can watch us live. Moti Mutangenet Nicola saying, watching live from Doha, Qatar. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Elvis Kosgei, who's also watching it live from Northern Europe. Freddy Kirinyaga County. Daniel Rotich from Ruaraka. Asante sana as we get ready for this. Set. Off there they go. Look at Daniel Kiviasi taking his drop up. Kunwal Riem is coming in closer. Look at them. Daniel Kiviasi taking it. Samuel Chege. Hesbon. Weissman Weremuhove. Weissman Weremuhove taking it to Samuel Chege. Who will it be at the end of the day? Look at it. Oh my good Lord. Finally making it to 20 seconds, 0.95. What a finish it has been. Daniel Kiviasi, Hesbon Ochieng, Samuel Chege, and finally Weissman Weremuhove. As we wait for the official finals and records of who the final had been. An amazing run. What an amazing run. We'll be waiting for the official results at the final. But look at how they took out final. Starting with Daniel Kiviasi, coming in Samuel Chege. What an amazing run it has been.
That was the finals of the men's 200 meters.
And at the corner right there, I think that's where Samuel Chege lost it.
Appreciate all of you.
Kud Warliem getting at the final corner there. What an amazing race it has been. As I welcome back the lead commentator, Gregory Mullaney.
Weissman Were, of course, 2095. But this young man can do wonders. That's the 100 meters, the 400 meters, the 4x400 meters hurdles. Weissman Were, of course, is a name to watch. And you can look at how well he is prepared to take on the global stage. Of course, finishing second there behind Daniel Kiviasi. So it's been very eventful, of course. Day one of the trials, national trials for the World Athletics Championships to be held in Budapest. This has been very exciting, and I know on day one episode 1 has been interesting for you.
You can say so.
Yeah, I'm trying to qualify. I qualify for 400 adults. So, working on my speed. Yeah. Weather si poa. You can't hide. Pia nyinyi mnaona. So, wind iko juu sana. Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
The 200 meters, it's been a very eventful first day of the national trials for the World Athletics Championships to be held in Budapest from the 19th of August. It's been really interesting, Shadrach, and I know you've witnessed some good piece of action both on the track and field. This has been a very good day despite the weather being very chilly.
Yes, we have to look more for tomorrow being the final day, and definitely who will make the final cut. It's been such an amazing event, and so much thank you to the many people that have made their comments on our Facebook pages that have been following us. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Of course, we'll be here in the PM to bring you the final day of the national trials for the World Athletics Championship. On behalf of the rest of the crew, it's good evening and bye-bye, and always take care.